Yeah. I hear it. Oh, now you can.
Oh, now I can.
You're witnessing live a changing of the guard as the 2026 Softball South Australia Premier League finals begin today. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching around Australia and around the world. My name is Eric Balnar. I am joined by a national championship coach in Bill Benedictson, who also coincidentally coached one of the teams playing in this grand final last year. So some data to draw from. Bill Benedictson, thanks for joining me. It's an elimination final. Winner through to the next round. Loser goes home. It's actually more of the simple part of the season right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I think both teams fighting for their life. Both teams very equal, and we're talking about the youth out there and pitching, hitting. We'll have to see what happens here.
Well, I want to talk about the youth just a little bit here, Bill, because a couple years ago, this final would have seemed almost unimaginable, especially 3 years ago. Seacombe were right near the bottom, dwelling there with Hills. In fact, Hills had really only won 6 games in the last couple years combined. And this year, they were top 2 the whole year up until the last day, to be totally honest. That's when it dropped them into the 3-4 game. But this Hills lineup, only a couple players over the age of 21. This Seacombe team, not much different. Another very youthful lineup. And their junior program has every single division in a grand final. So both these teams are the future. This is the first matchup that these teams have had in a long time in the finals, maybe ever, actually, in terms of Seacombe and Hills. But you can't imagine it's going to be the last, because these two teams seem to be on a trajectory that's going to keep them afloat for a while in this competition.
It's really impressive. You're right. I mean, the Hills defense this year has been exceptional. Seacombe having to bring in some juniors to play too, and their defense has stayed fairly solid. You're right. 5 years ago, a lot of the same players along the juniors were playing on the teams that weren't winning, but they've stuck with it. And the Hills, with a couple of key imports this year, has really put it all together, haven't they?
If you're just joining us for the finals, it's a good time to join. There are basically 3 games left in the A-grade Premier League season here in South Australia on beautiful Ghana land. It's a 3-4 game right now. Winner advances to the preliminary final on Wednesday. Loser, their season is done. Who would they play in the preliminary final, you ask? Well, later tonight, Walkerville and West Torrens go head-to-head. The winner to the gold medal game, the grand final, played for it all. The loser of that game will meet the winner of this one in the elimination final. Steve Wallace-Yarrow, Jason Irvine, and Jackie Crafter meeting at home plate as the managers will exchange lineup cards for a final. And Bill, will get to the lineups in just a moment, but the big one for Seacombe is no Neely Peterson. And with all due respect to anybody that has to fill Neely Peterson's shoes, Neely Peterson is a national champion. She's a professional softball player. She was one of the big reasons that Seacombe got to the championship last year and has been one of the best catchers, if not the best catcher in the game here the last 2 years in South Australia. She's got to go home. Some visa issues for her to sort out before she goes to Italy. It means Abby Mossman's going to come in, and you've coached her before too. It's big shoes for Abby to step into, but what do you like about Abby's game to step in? You can't replace Neely Peterson, but Abby Mossman is a good player. Yeah, look, it's going to be a big loss for them. But Abby Mossman, what I like the most about her is anywhere you put her, she's able to do the job. You know, she's willing to do it. You know, doesn't complain. We've played her at second base, third base. She's caught. I'm trying to remember if we threw her in the outfield too, but you know, wherever you ask her to play, she's going to give it a crack, and let's hope she can do the job tonight. That's on Seacombe's side of things. Meanwhile, the Hills Heat, they had been running basically second or third for the whole year. They got out of the gates hot this season. They won 3 games in their first couple weeks, and Coach Reggie Fairley, well, she basically said, hey, those were big for us early because it gave the team confidence and belief that, yeah, we're good enough, which was important because 6 of these players are under the age of 21 in the lineup. They brought in a couple additions. We'll talk about the imports, in particular Charisma Bergensen, but how about Michaela Jankovic in the mound, a big recruit up to the Hills, moving there after coming back from college. Reg basically saying, hey, we're going to make you our person. You're going to be starting a big game. And here she is coming back from college, moved up to the Hills, and is now pitching in their first final in 5 years. Yeah, that's great. First year back, and she made the choice, obviously, with Walkerville having Taylor Cottle for a couple of years consecutive. Thought, hey, I'm not going to get much chance there. Goes to the Hills, and she's one of their mainframe, she's pitched real well this year. It's good to see her back. We'll get you the lineups in a moment, but it is Hills versus Seacombe. Winner through to the preliminary final. Loser, their season comes to an end on this warm Saturday afternoon. And a first pitch swing from Regan Diaz. It's lifted out to left field, and it drops in behind Brianna Luxon. Regan Diaz has some speed. She was thinking about 3, and the star import of the last 3 years is standing on second base. Hey, how good was that? First pitch scene. Regan Diaz says, I'm not wasting any time today. Jumps on that pitch. Hopefully we get a replay here, but keeps it just inside the line. I think that thing, if we don't get a replay, fell probably a meter inside the line off the fence. Almost took her deep on the first pitch of the game to start. setting some intention early. Diaz, then Abby Mossman, who's up to bat right now. She shows bunt. It's in the air, diving back in an effort from Georgia King. Becky Havis will bat third. Bree Lint batting fourth. Aroa Munro batting fifth. Hannah Cameron sixth. Georgia Tompkinson seventh. Sasha Mutzi eighth. Bianca Pash batting ninth. Only two of these players in the lineup have an average over 300.
Yeah, the replay there, she just got the bat underneath the ball. Shows a bold move that Coach Anderson's going to play for the win, play for the run early.
Again, popped up in the air, and now that takes away the bunt with 2 strikes on the board.
But to play short game with a leadoff double, you're saying, I want to get that runner to 3, and we want to score her right away.
Well, the key here is Becky Havis is their leading hitter, batting .381 on the year, and is certainly in the mix for a Best and Fairest award in the top 10. We do know that, and you'd think Havis might be the first basewoman on the team of the year, certainly in the mix. This one pops straight up in the air. Charisma Bergeson, the import, makes the play. And that'll give us an opportunity to go around the diamond quickly. Bill, we got Brianna Luxon in left field. Zoe Marich in center field. Lara Tamke in right field. Charisma Bergeson out of Boise State, the star import. Abby Bastion, a recent call-up to the Aussie Spirit, still under 18s, or just turned 18. Chloe Zachary, another young player at second. Megan Jemson, the veteran, formerly Williams, playing against her former club in Seacombe at first. And Georgia King, now just, 20, 21 years old, is catching the balls and strikes to Michaela Jankovic, who is in the circle today.
Yeah, Hills are lucky they got the pop-up on that second batter. Took a little bit of the pressure off. 1 out. Still got that runner in scoring position, though. And as you said, Becky Havis, the leading batter on the Seacombe Tigers team.
This is the danger bat if you are Seacombe, who are trying to get up to a better start. Now Diaz is trying to steal third. She's going to slide in there. Safe. Regan Diaz wastes no time on a bit of a hesitation and slides under the tag of Bergeson. And now there's a runner at third.
Hey, I was just going to say that's a great pitch by Michaela throwing that changeup. And that everybody liked it so much that they were watching it. And Diaz took off for third. Picks up a base.
Willing to play some small ball, and now an intimidating bat in Becky Havis, who has really rose the ranks of South Australian softball. Well noted on her story that she was with the Seacombe Tigers, and then the Tigers had their A-grade side a few years ago. They didn't submit one, not enough players, and instead of going to another club, Becky decided to stay in Seacombe, played B-grade, when she would have been an automatic in the best 9 of any other club. She got back a couple years near the bottom, 1 year fighting for a final spot. Last year, she delivered a clutch hit in the preliminary final to get her team to the championship game. So Becky is being Tiger through and through.
3-1 pitch here.
Oh, she just missed that.
Missed it. Fouls that one off on the first base side dugout. Yeah, that was the pitch. She was waiting on it. Just missed.
You can probably afford to be a little bit fine with Havis here. You don't want to miss because she can crunch something. And the batting numbers don't suggest or favor too kindly statistically for the Seacombe Tigers after Havis.
Left side of the diamond is in. That's fouled back over our heads.
She's just missed a couple of those now. She's become good at protecting the plate, Becky, hasn't she?
She is. She's had a good year this year. I'd be looking for her here to just punch that ball back up the middle here or to the right side. Second base is deep. A ground ball there. Diaz will score for sure. Anything on the left side here could be a play at the plate. Ideally, she's looking for a fly ball in the outfield here.
That slips away, and now it's going to be a rush to the plate, and standing up is Regan Diaz, and she scores, and it's 1-0 Seacombe.
Hey, just a little bit high on that pitch and got off the tip of the glove. We get a replay here. Here it comes now. You can see this ball's up. Havis lays off, just off the top of the glove, and there's no getting Diaz. She was on her horse there.
Bill, it's always an interesting discussion to talk about experience when it comes to finals. And let's start with the Seacombe Tigers, who last year were effectively what the Hills Heat are this year. You know, they're a young team, no finals experience, with a couple of star imports who have helped and joined the culture and basically complement that young core that had been brewing. Now, the question was, what the Tigers have in experience? Well, they went all the way to the final game of the season. They got to play in the grand final. You were there. So when it comes to say, does experience matter? I mean, Hills don't have any experience, but we saw with Seacombe last year. Does that matter, or do you feel those nerves when you're a young team that hasn't been there before as Bree Lint is up to bat?
I think you do. I think that what it really boils down to is how well that experience has prepared you to come back from when things go wrong. Like, you know, you're all going to make mistakes, or it's not going to happen the way you want, but you got to have that experience to basically say, okay, I'm going to forget that. Let's move on to the next play. Let's get it done.
So throwing out completely theoretical situations. You haven't played a final in 5 years. First pitch, somebody hits a double and then scores 2 batters later, and you're down 1-0 with 1 out of the board on a finals you've been thinking about for 5 years. Is this the moment where you're wondering how you respond to those pushbacks?
Yeah. I think we're going to see, and at the moment it has kind of affected Michaela's rhythm a bit. You know, she's new to this situation, but has played a lot of college. But that wild pitch, indicative of just sort of, you know, the situation getting away a little bit. Can she rein it back in now, or is Bree Lint going to cash in here and get a pitch? And
cracked
she does.
Over to the left side. A good stop from Abby Bastion. She can keep it in the infield, but that's probably going to go down as a hit. That was a remarkable effort from Abby Bastion just to knock that down. Don't know if we'll see it on replay, but 2 runners on either way.
Hey, when I saw that ball leave, I thought that thing was a hit all the way, right through the gap, and I was amazed that Abby Bastion got a glove to it. But she is young and will lay it out, and that was a great knockdown. Yeah,
she dove on her backhand to keep that ball in the infield. So I'm going to guess the scorers will give that an infield hit, but
I'd say it's a hit. Yep.
It's a quick thumbs up. Quick thumbs up.
So only 1 down now.
Well, this would be a good time for the first hit of the season for Ara Munro. Instead, she's going to play small ball and lay down the bunt. So 2 runners in scoring position. Bill, interesting decision here to sacrifice the out. Now 2 outs on the board, but 2 in scoring position.
It is. I mean, you know, I guess they want to stay out of that double play and move those runners. First of all, that was a fantastic bunt. You know, she made sure she got that ball on the ground and made the pitcher field it. You got 2 now, and look, we had a wild pitch to score the first run of the game. You get that runner over to 3, and you get something like that again. You know, suddenly you got another run on the board. Hannah Cameron, she can swing the bat. She's not going as well this year as maybe last year, but I know she can make contact, and that's all we're looking for here now, if you're the Seacombe team.
Well, one of the words that was used in the Seacombe dugout before the game was the word trust. Trust can mean a lot of things, but this is quite evident that you have to trust each person in their lineup to do their job. Munro lays down the bunt. Yes, there's now 2 outs on the board, but trust the next person in the lineup.
There's a pitch. Yeah, you got to do that. You got to just do what you can to help your team and hope the next person can do the job. In a situation like this, you're on the bases. You're just trying to make sure you can keep that inning alive, you know?
A base hit, though, would put a good, tidy number on the board for the Tigers. Georgia King going to have to be rock solid behind the dish as well.
Well blocked by Georgia there. Michaela choosing to go low instead of the high one. Gives King a chance to get body behind it. 2-1 to Cameron.
3 base runners in the inning out of these first 5 batters for the Seacombe Tigers. Softball's such a funny game. You'd think if the Heat can get out of this and get this 3rd out on the board, they actually go to the dugout saying, hey, you know what? First pitch was a double to one of the best players in the competition. We only allowed 1. That's okay. We can live with this. But 1 swing of the bat here from the Tigers, and it is a crooked number to start this game.
Key at bat right here. Key moment early in the first.
It's a hitter's count at 3-1. Jammed a little. Up in the air, Abby Bastion, the Aussie Spirit member, underneath it, and 3 reach for Seacombe. Just 1 scores. Both teams, I think, will leave and head to the dugout with a positive from that top of the first inning.
Yeah, that's right. If you're Seacombe, you're happy you got runs on the board first. You know, you did some things that might come back later in the game to be key, like play that small game and get the bunt down, get the ball in play, lay off bad pitches. If you're the Hills, absolutely, you weathered the storm there. You know, there was, like you said, one hit away from suddenly a crooked number, and that changes everything. So,
game is about damage limitation as much as anything, especially in the finals. You're going to allow runs. Well, I mean, the game tonight we might not see a run, but you know, generally speaking, you're going to allow some runs.
That's right. And the other thing to remember too, we're 7-inning games now. You've got more time. However, run rules still apply, so you can't let them score a big chunk on you, and then suddenly you're chasing 5 to 7 runs and you get mercied.
Hills allowed the second least runs of all teams in the competition this year. They were pretty good at damage limitation all year long. Well,
I would say that's the most impressive stat I saw, and up until, I want to say 2 weeks ago, they were leading with runs against.
That's exactly, yeah, it's especially given where they were last year, where they allowed, 8-9 runs a game. It was a big difference, so some good work in the Hills. Well, let's take a look at how Seacombe will line up defensively. It's Bree Lint at third, Paige Moses at shortstop, Sasha Mutzi at second, Becky Havis at first. It is Abby Mossman catching, Bianca Passion left, Georgia Tompkinson in center, and Hannah Cameron at right. Regan Diaz, her third year in the competition. The versatile import, can play almost any position. Pitching, she did a lot of last year, Bill. This year, not so much, 28 innings, but you sort of figured she would always be the one that gets the start when a game matters the most for this team.
Oh, most definitely. She's the one you want out there in the circle. Third year in the league, and possibly the last. She's engaged in looking to get married, so I don't know if she'll be allowed to come back. We'll have to see.
So this could be the final game of the softball career in South Australia of Regan Diaz, and she has been a national champion, and it was really interesting to hear in the dugout before the game about the season. It was just swung from Abby Bastion up in the air, Bree Lint under it, and can't make the play, and they've given an extra at-bat effectively to Abby Bastion, who's hit .313 on the year and is a member of the Aussie Spirit.
I think that's something we talk about a lot, and I always have as a coach, is you can't give those extra outs. You know, that's a really a good opportunity to get that first batter, totally put them on the back foot, especially Abby Bastion, who can hit the ball and make it pay now.
Abby Bastion had a ridiculous summer of softball, and now that rides up in her. And from being a freckle away from retiring, Abby Bastion, now she's on base, and she's a smart base runner as well, so leadoff runner is aboard on the hit by pitch.
I think Sarah's is going to come out and ask the question whether it actually got her in the hand or the knob of the bat, and this will be a good replay. Because if it hits the knob of the bat, it's a foul ball.
Well, it looks like it got her on the...
That's really hard to tell.
Hard to tell. It looks from this angle like it got her on the wrist, but I feel like if it did get her on the wrist, you might have seen more of a reaction. But Abby's pretty tough. That's the other thing, too.
That's true. Glancing blow and then maybe part of the bat, so it could have hit both. But if it hits the batter first or the hands first, it's hit by pitch.
A summer for Abby where she played for the 18s, 23s state team and for the Spirit.
Yeah, she was everywhere, wasn't she? And Rookie of the Year with the Spirit. Well, sorry, not Spirit. Rookie of the Year with the state team, right? Not
just for her team, for the whole tournament. Yeah, the country.
Yeah, fantastic. Look, she's a solid player. You know, from about 2 years ago when she really started to put it together, you knew she was going to be special, and she has.
Well, you loved hearing the story. I mean, we'll talk about the star players of Charisma Bergeson and Sarah Harvey when they have their turns at bat, as Zoe Marich steps up to bat. Another one of the young players on this team. She was on the 18s as well. And there you go. Now there's a runner at second base and nobody out. And you go back to that play that wasn't made in foul territory.
Yep, and they're testing the arm of Abby Mossman. You know, hasn't caught a lot this year. No Neely. Decide to take off and see what she can do.
Free base.
Yeah. Zoe Merritt has been impressive. You were telling me before, but batting the third best batter on the Hills team this year.
Hitting .326 on the season, and she again was on the 18 squad this year, on the Spirit radar as well, on the junior program.
I guess you look, she probably swapped over to a lefty hitter, 3 to 4 years ago, I want to say, and it's starting to really put it together now. Know his strike zone and making good contact, so that's really good to see. It's a big improvement.
Getting on base consistently. Tries a little bunt as this goes into foul territory, and that's on for a strike. Young Corey, we'll talk about Georgia King, who's batting fourth as well. She's hitting .322, but there's some striking comments from Charisma Bergeson earlier in the year when we kind of asked her about why she chose Hills. You could have gone to pretty much any club with a player of her caliber, but she said she was really endeared by the youth that Hills had, and she was impressed. She had Zoom conversations with some of the younger players on the team, and remember, these are high school level players. She's from college, Division I, has some records at college in terms of hitting home runs in a game, and she chose Hills even though she was well aware that they struggled to win games the last few years, but really liked the pieces that were put together from the youth and thought, hey, I could go to a place where I can help them win some games. And now a swing and a miss and a strikeout, and they tried to get the runner off the bag. There's one down.
Yeah, I like that. I remember you telling me that story, and I like that strategy that the Hills have basically shown Charisma who they are in a Zoom call. The meetings we had with other just as she swings through here, and it's just a quick back pick by Abby.
Well, Charisma Bergeson hit .500 on the season, hit 3 home runs, 16 RBIs, an OPS of 1567, which is crazy. She's got a big swing.
Fouled that first one over the first base. I would say I would be pitching there very carefully with first base open, and they don't have Sarah Harvey in the lineup behind her, which is a staple. Also, arguably one of their best hitters. So Mia Oates-Willits, I think, is the on-deck batter.
I think Georgia King.
Oh, Georgia King, sorry, who's also a good quality batter. But I think you're pitching around here. But then again, Diaz is a competitor, isn't she? She will rise to the challenge.
Charisma Bergeson has made a big impact on this young Hills team. Clearly somebody with a deep passion for the game as well. And a presence in the batter's box, which is probably something they have been lacking really since Georgia Hood left to college. Just a menace in the middle of the batting lineup.
Yeah, someone that can hurt you if you leave a loose pitch there. I like the way Diaz is going aggressively and just out of the zone. Like, really tough to lay off those pitches. They haven't been way out, but can't get her to bite.
Bergeson jammed a little over to short. Moses makes the play, and she just missed that. You can see it spin off the bat. Yeah,
it comes in on the hands here, doesn't it? What's this replay? Good composure by Moses there. Another youngster that's jumped into the shortstop role, which is no mean feat. And you see in on the hands there, just didn't get it all.
Here's Georgia King.
Now, Moses didn't have to struggle too much with the sun there, but something that will come into play at this time of night is second base side and center field there. Got a little bit of sun on those sort of semi-pop-ups. So we'll have to watch and see anything that's up towards Sasha Muncie there, how she handles that, or Chloe Zachary for the Hills. And here's
knocked
one to that
into
side.
Foul territory, but ranging over to make the play on command, Bill Benedictson.
Hey,
Sasha Muncie.
How about that? You handled that one just fine. Sasha Muncie making the switch from shortstop over to 2, which big switch for her, but she's done well. Played a lot of games there, I think, this year.
She has, yeah, and a lot of leadoff, well, and hit by pitch. But there's a runner on second and nobody out, and somehow they get out of the jam. So Regan Diaz doing her job.
Yeah.
To make sure no damage is done.
I was going to say back-to-back batters there. She came in on the hands and got him.
Well, due up in the second inning for Seacombe is Georgia Tompkinson, Sasha Mutzi, and Bianca Pash. And it's the 7-8-9 part of the lineup, and it sets itself up quite well that if just one of those players can get on base, it turns back over to Diaz at the top, who just pitched that scoreless first inning. She's already got a double. That seems to be the key here, Bill, is find a way to get on base and let Diaz go to work.
Yeah, look, both teams with their 7, 8, 9 have players that can put the ball in play. Former, number 2 batters, they're down there in the bottom of the lineup. Ones that, like you said, it's just a plucky at bat. They get something through, make contact, get a lucky break, and then you get Diaz to come up, and we saw what she did with her first swing.
Seacombe, after Christmas, really turned it on out of the gates when the competition resumed at the end of January, beginning of February. They went on a 4-1-1 stretch, 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. And those 9 points really helped get them into the finals. Some key wins on the way, including a 4-3 win over Hills in what was a great game.
I'm trying to remember that one, but
it was up in the Hills.
Oh, that's right. That's the one. I did see that.
February 21st, yeah. And then they ended up losing 12-4 in March 11th. So just, 9-10 days ago. And they won 7-6 versus West Torrens. It was a 5-run rally late. Wasn't against the A-grade pitching, but Seacombe had allowed 30 runs in their last 3 games heading into this. And Bergeson a little off the bag, but a nice tag from Megan Jemson.
Hey, Meg with a great play here. First of all, I was just going to say the infield playing very true hops. Got a nice hop by at Charisma there. But the throw, just took that extra little off it and flipped it. But Meg, ever the pro, just grabbed it, tagged her, showed the ball. You could see as Charisma went to throw that ball, she just took a little off. It's a little easy, and then sometimes you let your guard down on that throw, and it tailed away from her a bit.
Well, Sasha Mutzi, who made that nice catch in foul territory to end the first inning, steps up to the plate. The point is around Seacombe is they showed a nice stretch after Christmas, which is really what you have to look at, that they can hang with and beat the best.
Hey, but probably most memorable was that scoreless draw against Walkerville, in that last 4 games. Incredible game. I think, again, from what I talked to Jill Williams, said that was the first game back after a big rain, and they fixed this diamond, added extra dirt, made it perfect. Everything was bouncing well, kind of like what we're seeing right now. Perfect conditions.
And look at that, just drop off a planet from Michaela Yankovic. And
it's a great pitch from Michaela. Actually, her changeup has been something she's had for years, but has gotten better as she's come back from college. She's happy about that one. Big smile on her face through the grill.
She's come back from college, didn't have the opportunity with her last club, Walkerville, for good reason. Taylor Cottle's coming back, but was looking for a chance to shine somewhere else. Now she's getting swing and miss stuff in an elimination final for a team that hasn't been to the finals in 5 years.
Yeah, good first pitch swing there by beat Bianca. But Michaela, yeah, she's getting those swing and misses. Starting to get that confidence back after that shaky first inning.
We talk about people that have helped craft a pretty now prolific junior program, all junior teams in grand finals for Seacombe. The Pash family, certainly a huge part in inspiring and coaching some of the younger players within the Seacombe club and organization.
Oh, absolutely. They're big at the club.
Kathy Pash is an energetic spirit who has certainly helped out a lot of the younger players.
Yes, most definitely.
Anytime you talk about Kathy, everyone says they need 10 of her.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, she even filled in on A-grade, I think, a year or 2 ago in a couple of games. Out there running around stealing bases. Great to have her. Michael Pash behind the scenes at the club. The 2 daughters, Elise and
Bianca.
And don't forget Beverly, Kath's mother. All big parts of Seacombe.
Well, Bianca Pash, I know you used her in a few different roles last year as well, Bill, but she's been a versatile player that you've put in a couple different spots in the lineup too.
Yes, she does. I mean, she's been playing majority. We did see her catch last week. I caught that one when Neely had left early, but playing the outfield a bit, and I think she's in left field today. She is.
Hash knocks it over to Bergeson. Bergeson, this throw a little bit more on the money, and Michaela Yankovic works a 1-2-3 inning, which is important because it means that Diaz will come to the plate with nobody on base when the third inning rolls around. But that's a nice settling start for Hills. I mean, they allow the double, then the stolen base, a walk, an early run on a pass ball. Those first three batters looked a little jittery. They looked like a team that hadn't played finals in 5 years, but since then, obviously just a ground ball, infield single, and then 5 straight outs, just the 1 run on the board, and now you kind of feel like Hills is a bit more settled at the end of the game.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, that one little hiccup, like I said, and then cost a wild pitch, and then she got out of that inning and had a chance to have that breather. Reg Fairley probably settled her down, Her team gets behind her and she comes right back out, and she's on it.
Well, as long as those young teams have a chance, that belief will grow. You probably saw that with Seacombe last year, too. You think back to that preliminary final where Seacombe were down, came back. It was a big hit late from Becky Havis that proved to be the deciding moment. But there was a few moments that game could have got away from Seacombe.
Yeah, it was a tough one. You're right. It didn't seem to be going for us early. Things didn't happen, and you just thought, geez, we're going to run out of options here. But you never give up. I think earlier in that year we had a couple of come-from-behind victories that sort of buoyed spirits. And
never out of a game.
Yeah, never out.
Lara Tamke up to bat right now. Another part of a young core here that the Hills have built up.
Yeah, I really like the way Laura Temke plays the game. I've watched her for a few years now, like from when she was on a 16s team, I think, with my daughter Izzy. She just goes about it the right way. I think she had a bit of time off last year, possibly, but back strong this year, playing really well.
I liked what Reg Fairley said before the game. She said, hey, you know what? We could submit our own under-23 team in nationals, and we'd be competitive. That's the caliber of players that are coming through the Hills system right now in terms of players that are under that age group, and obviously some Spirit players already in that group. And I loved that comment, being like, we'd be around the mark with just our under-23 players.
Yep. Must be some magnetism up there in the Hills with Reg Fairley being a national-level coach. Plays down the short bunt.
The bunt. Does it stay? Oh, it sits on the line, and it's just gone foul. Wow.
Wow is right. I think what's going to be interesting on that play, and Steve's called it foul right away when it stopped. It does stop, and it looks like it might touch chalk, but, the way the chalk is kind of splayed out a little bit, or splashed out, Steve's going to use his best judgment to say that is a centimeter past the line.
I mean, there's no one in better position than him right there.
And it's not like it was going anywhere at that point, so he could take his time and make that call, right?
And you know what? It was probably smart that nobody touched it from the Tigers at that point either. The runner had already been down the line. Had you touched it, you might force a decision that might not have worked out in your advantage.
That's right.
Now Tamke has second life, and she'll foul one away. This is a good long at-bat versus Diaz. Remember, length could be important here in working up pitch counts in a 7-inning game. These aren't timed like they were in the regular season, meaning longer at-bats now eliminates a pitcher earlier. All kind of adds up in the math of it.
And I think in the case of Seacombe, they're probably looking for Diaz to go the distance today. So short, efficient innings will work best for them.
This is about to be pitch number 8 in this at-bat to lead things off against Laura Tamke.
Yeah. Temke really hanging in here, making good contact. I like Temke in this situation to go to the right side, looking for punch something towards right field or up the middle. Sasha Muncy better be on her guard.
And just misses on the inside. Fouled a few away, works a leadoff walk. And the tying run is on base for the Hills.
Well, that's a clutch at bat for Temke there. Very close pitch to lay off. Diaz how she got it, and a very experienced batter coming up now. None outs. Bunt situation, Meg can do it. Hit situation, Meg can do it.
Megan Jemison, formerly Megan Williams.
Going.
Now runner is going to slide in. It would have been well safe anyways. It took a funny hop. So for the second straight inning, a runner is on second base, and there's nobody out.
And again, Hill's wasting no time in taking off here, not even feeling it out. First pitch. and she got a great jump. And the throw is just shortstop side. Even if it was on the money, it was going to be a very close play. Nice slide by Temke to go out wide and get her hand on it.
Bunt laid down. They'll advance the runner to third, and that ball slips away, and this game is tied. An unforced error. They were just trying to move the runner to third. They're going to score a run, and they're going to keep one in scoring position.
Wow. Well, there's a situation. You play small ball, and you put pressure on the defense. The replay's got the celebration, not the play, but you put pressure on them, and a rare throwing error, I guess you'd have to say, on Diaz fielding the bunt.
Yeah, I would think it would be an E1 on that. Becky Havas doesn't usually have problems fielding a ball either.
Well, I think it was Sasha.
Oh, Sasha covering? Yeah.
On the cover.
Either way, it is a mistake that's going to be costly.
Yeah. Without seeing the replay, sometimes what happens as you come up to throw that ball, if second base is not quite settled, you get tentative on your throw. I couldn't really tell if she got there in time, and there's one off the glove.
Yeah, now it's going to put a runner in just at third base now. It means a sacrifice fly, perhaps a ground ball, a wild pitch. There's just a lot of ways with no outs on the board that this go-ahead run can score for Hills.
Yeah. Hills are looking really good here now to get that run in. Seacombe has to take a moment and breathe and just sort of relax. They got to reset here a bit because it's starting to get away from them. That's a good pitch, way to come back with that one by Diaz.
A strikeout would probably go down a treat on Chloe Zachary. That ball slips away, and this could be trouble. A throwback to first the plate is off the mark. Jemson scores, and before an out is recorded, Hills pounce on a couple Tiger mistakes, and it is a 2-1 game.
Well, that's unfortunate there. Ball gets away. Nice graceful slide there. She'll be happy with that replay. But it is the go-ahead run, so you'll take it.
Well, it's up the middle again, and it goes off the glove, and the runner is safe. Zachary to first, and the pressure continues. Bill, I was also going to say here with Megan Jemson, I mean, she reached on a bunt. That was an error, and then advanced to second on the throwing error, and then advanced to third on a wild pitch, and then scored on a wild pitch.
Yeah, kind of a perfect storm there, wasn't it? And then you get the hit up the middle here that, playable ball, and they keep it rolling. Seacombe now is taking that timeout, that breather, just to get themselves settled again. It was starting to get away from them. And look, hey, the Hills are running with this now. You're confident now. Hits breed hits, and runs breed runs.
Well, you talked to Reggie Fairley before the game, and it's a young team, so you have to be careful with the psyche of a young team so far. But, they beat the Tigers 12-4 in a game where they scored 6 early runs in those first 2 innings, jumped them out of the gate. They hadn't really been scoring runs at a big clip, and that was just 10 days ago. And I kind of posed the question as, hey, obviously you want to win. Obviously a big score is a big score. Was that a good thing going in this game, or was it somewhere in the middle, or was it even a bad thing? Do you get overconfident? She said, hey, look, we've struggled against Seacombe generally over the last couple years. They've been our bogey team. So to be able to win and win big and also find a way and show that the lineup can come through with those big hits when required, how can it be a bad thing? So she said it just helped give them some confidence.
I think, too, it's happening here in the the lower half of the order, and they're playing a little short game and getting some bounces to go their way. Geez, if the top part of the orders comes up and swings the bat like they can, it could be a big day for the Hills.
Well, barring a double play, Abby Bastian is going to have an at-bat. Bastian, 313, Marich, 326, Burkeson, 500, and Georgia King, 322. The 1, 2, 3, 4 in the lineup. Knocked towards shallow right field. In fact, so shallow, it's the second basewoman in Sasha Mutzi who makes the play. Runner stays at first.
It's a very good catch by Sice. That's the one with the sun in the eyes. I thought that looked like it could have been directly in her eyes as she got that ball.
Well, another youngster on this Hills team, Sky Vumar.
Just under that one. Just got her hands down a bit, but you see Sasha fighting it a bit, but launched it right into the glove.
Diaz battling a little bit in the circle.
Now's when you'd like your double play if you're Seacombe, but a ground ball double play unlikely. What would more likely is a line drive catch, step on the bag, or throw back to one, but going.
There's a throw in, not in time, and they really are testing the arm of Abby Mossman, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Look, that was probably the best throw down there of the three.
It's 3 stolen bases in
right at the bag.
2 innings. 1 and a third innings, I should say. 4 outs recorded, 3 stolen bases allowed.
And at the moment, just on that glance, and if James were here, he'd be all over it as we get a wild pitch and it gets away. And throwback to 3, but she advances to 3 on that. Is just that pop time when the ball's hitting Abby's glove to when she comes up and throws. It's just taking that little bit of time that, you know, if she was catching more regularly, obviously she'd be a bit more fluent on that. Hey, only 1 down now. Got a runner at 3. Sky Bavood.
Umard knocks one towards short. Runner will stay there, so there's 2 down, but now the spirit player and Abby Bastian steps up to the bat. But Regan Diaz, some soft contact.
That's a gift out there for Seacombe. They really take that one. Soft liner to short. No chance for the runner to advance. But it does bring up the top of the order, and Abby Bastian is one of the best hitters in the league and one of the best hitters on the Hills team.
Well, if you judge, are you a member of the Australian national team as criteria, as are you one of the best players in the country, well then, this is one of the best players in the country up to bat right now.
Correct. I would not argue that.
It'd be a tough argument to lose if you that was your argument on the national team, one of the better players. This one tipped out into foul territory from Bastian.
Yep, just fouled that one off, just dipped underneath it. 0-2 now quickly. Diaz doing everything she can to regroup, get this third out. Bastian will put contact, just shortened up a little bit. High, laid off that one.
Trying to halt the damage at 2. The first 3 reached, 1 on an error, but a walk as well. I mean, just free bases coming out costly right now here in a 2-run second inning for the Hills. This one is hammered towards center field.
Way back.
Tompkinson moving back, and that is gone.
Gone, baby, gone.
It's a Bastian bomb, and it's 4-1 Hills.
How about that? That is a big blow. You know, Eric, we'll watch this pitch on the replay right down the middle, and she got it all. That thing was up and out, and that was a no-doubter for me. Boom.
It was a line drive. That was the thing for me. It was
solid.
I mean,
so look at that swing. Keeps all her weight back, swings right through, head right on the ball. Right on the sweet spot. And you know, Eric, just before that, I was about to say the Seacombe Tigers were 1 out away, and they'd be happy to get out of that inning with only 2 runs scored. And now
it's a 4-1 game just like that for Hills. And it comes from, well, one of the best players in the country.
You called it. You called it, sir.
Abby Bastian has delivered. The team that she's played for the last few years, being part of this youth movement. Maybe the headliner in the youth movement for Hills, playing in her first finals action
Hey, I'm wondering if that's her first home run here on Diamond One over the fence. I mean, I wouldn't doubt she's had one before, but because she hits the ball so well, but I don't think I've seen it. So
it's a good question.
I think the shocked look on her face as she was about to round second might have told us that she hasn't.
It's a great point, Bill, because you take a look at her numbers on the season with Abby Bastion. I mean, she hit .313. She did hit one home run. I don't know if it was over the fence or inside the park. She's got wheels.
She's got wheels, yeah. We'll see if we can get confirmation on that. But what a great time for a home run.
She's now reached on a walk. She's got a stolen base. She's hit a home run. She's driven in a couple runs. And Abby Bastion, wow. Now Zoe Marich drives one towards that left side.
You go back to that first inning, we were talking about extra outs and that drop foul ball on Abby Bastion. A couple extra outs in that inning allows her to come up to the plate, and it was big.
It was the hit by pitch back in the first inning, I should say. Yeah, this inning started with the walk to Lara Tamke on a 9-pitch at-bat that really did set the tone for the inning. As now Zoe Marich will walk to first. What followed was just a routine bunt back towards the pitcher, and Regan Diaz just sort of was off on the throw. It was an error. It allowed Jemson to reach. It allowed Tamke to score. After Tamke stole a base as well, Jemson came around and scored, and then Chloe Zachary reached on an infield hit, and now all of a sudden, Charisma Bergeson can really bring the damage, and she goes swinging first pitch on a rise ball up. And Georgia Tompkinson makes the play, but not before Abby Bastion highlights a 4-run inning with a 2-run bomb on a line drive to center field. And all of a sudden, Hills, the kids, have a 4-1 lead versus last year's runners-up in the competition.
Hey, I might have called it too when I said the bottom part of the order was getting it done early there, but when the top part of the order starts to hit the ball too, it all came together for 4 runs. Good.
It's a good tip. It's good to have eyes and ears all over the place. Passed on some interesting information, you could call it, from Kevin Tannenbring, but I love that. So, I mean, we were talking about whether that was Abby Bastion's first home run on Diamond One. We don't know if that was, but how's the sportsmanship from Regan Diaz that after that ball was hit, Diaz helped signal to make sure that ball was retrieved. It was thrown back in, and she got the ball to Abby Bastion, which, that's her teammate in Stars and state training as well.
That's right, yeah.
And Regan Diaz has been a big part of the junior development, of which Abby Bastion, up until late January, was officially a junior, as she just turned 18, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah, that's good. Great sportsmanship by Diaz, and great awareness of the situation. That even though you're playing against that team and you're trying to win, you're aware of the fact that that's probably the first home run and a big one in the playoffs. You get that ball back to her.
Well, if you've tuned into these broadcasts over the last few years, there's been a lot of conversation, no shortage in it, about the star ascending for Abby Bastion. Well, she might have her own orbit now. That was clutch as clutch can be here in the finals.
Now, I'll tell you about those home run balls. When you get those back, and they're few and far between, you got to indicate, you got to mark something on that ball, and then for all you young ones out there, when you get that ball and you write on it, first home run and the date and where it happened, don't just throw it into your bag or your glove where it's going to get mixed into the balls. Put that somewhere, put a case on it, squirrel it away somewhere, because there will be a day you'll go looking for that ball. You'll want to see it again,
Well, a leadoff walk in Regan Diaz. You'd almost expect her to run as well and challenge the arm of Georgia King. And now the mindset here for Seacombe is what, Bill? I mean, just gave up a 4 spot, but it's only the 3rd inning, and we're playing 7 today.
Well, whether she straight steals could be risky. A bunt, you're down by, 2, 3. You might look hit and run instead. Abby can make contact, at least a swing through and send Diaz. Showing bunt, I'd be inclined for a hit and run here, where you're trying to get that ball on the ground. Maybe it gets through and Diaz goes first to third. maybe they get to play at 1, but you get the same satisfaction of moving around the scoring position.
Just try to chip away.
The key,
good part of the lineup to do it.
Yeah.
This one popped up in the air, and that'll be the first out of the inning. There's still a runner at first base here in the 3rd inning.
That one's not going to help.
So a runner at first, 1 out on the board in a 4-out game here in the top of the 3rd inning. Becky Havis, who hit .381, one of the best hitters in the state, comes to the plate trying to move a runner around.
Now, Becky Havis had a bomb over the outfield fence here, I think, at Diamond 1 this year. That might have been her first one. That'd be a great time for another one if you were a Seacombe Tiger fan.
It's over the plate for strike 1. This would be a good time for a trademark clutch moment from Becky Havis as the team tries to work their way back. That ball in the dirt. Michaela Yankovic, I figure we'll get the bulk of the innings, but you got to figure Sarah Harvey will be used in relief at some point.
Yeah, think of that. I mean, that's a good arm that you're keeping back there. But Michaela's doing the job, doing very well. Want to get the outs here. If you're Seacombe, you want to keep this inning going.
Ground ball and Charisma Bergeson. What a play across the diamond. They can't make the play. Runner will advance to 3rd. Havis stands on 1st. And it was almost a 5-star play from the 3rd basewoman.
Wow, we saw a bit of a foreshadowing to this a play or two before when Charisma just kind of a sidearm toss and it pulled Meg off the base. Same thing, great diving play, gets up, but this sidearm 3/4, you can see the arm doesn't come through, pulls her off, tries to go for the tag again. Ball gets knocked loose. Lucky Meg didn't come up injured on that play. I know broken thumbs happen, trying to make that tag on the catch. And Diaz scurries all the way to 3.
Well, Bree Lint now represents the run. And now Becky Havis was just playing some cat and mouse, saying, yeah, you can throw, but you know what's going to happen if you do.
You got wheels at 3 there. You're not going to throw down there. But Becky really tempting the throw, eh?
And then she'll say, I'll just take second base, as she took a look up and no one was covering second base, so Becky could just look and walk.
She was just shy of sticking her tongue out of there as she trotted down to 2 there, wasn't she?
So now 2 runners in scoring position, 1 out on the board here in the 3rd inning. That ball drops down low. 2 balls now.
Now, we got ourselves a key moment again in the game, don't we, here? If Seacombe can come through with the hit here, score 2, right back in the game.
Lint already 1 for 1 today. She had an infield single back in the 1st inning. Now she cracks one through the hole, and it is 1 run, and it might be 2. Havis with the hard turn around the plate. Lint slides into 2, safe and 2 runs on the board.
Wow, Bree comes through with a big hit there, just past the diving shortstop. We catch the replay here now. Bree Lint locked in on this swing, but man, it's a hard hit and just a bit of a fumble in the outfield. And we got super slow-mo going for a long time here. We're not going to get to it, but anyway, right through that ball. Abby Bastian making a great try, but what we don't see there is a bit of a bobble by left field, center field, I think, and the ball got away. And then how about Bree Lint legging it to 2 on a very close play and sliding in safe.
Wow. A big turn in events. I mean, 4 runs were put on the board.
There's the bobble. Cut off here by Charisma. Very good cutoff by and the problem is she got it on the wrong side and had the backhand flip to 2 instead of coming up and throwing on the forehand. Very good slide.
What a response from the Seacombe Tigers. Allow a 4 spot, but then back-to-back hits. Trademarked here by a Bree Lint double. That has scored a pair of runs, and all of a sudden it's 4-3.
Only 1 out, runner in scoring position. Erahar Monroe batting.
Monroe.
Had a great bunt last time, but probably not a bunt situation. Although they did do it with 1 out last time, didn't they? So I know I haven't seen Erahar play for a couple of years. She had a year off or 2, and she could hit the ball, and she can hit the ball. So Wouldn't that be a great time if you're a Seacombe Tiger if she comes up with a big hit right now?
That pitch again on the inside. If you
just missed there, Earhart laying off. And now Michaela's got to compose herself again. She's doing everything she can going after the batters, but these hits are just finding the hole. Comes back with a good strike there, low.
Runner on second, just one out on the board. Munro yet to have a hit in her return to softball this season. She's only played 7 games, so she's 0 for 12. It's not like it's a whole season of it, but she is definitely due for a hit. Right now, she can just be a little bit patient and watch another one miss the mark.
Lays off down low there. What are we at? 2-2?
2-2 count.
2-2 count.
One out. You can start to feel that finals tension probably for the first time here. And that hits her.
Ooh. Just tried to get back out of the way of that one, but yeah, got her.
Now the go-ahead run is on the plate. And Bill, we talked about it at the beginning of the game. This 6, 7, 8, 9 probably needs to find some production from Seacombe. Hannah Cameron, the highest average on this season out of all 4 of them. She's up to bat now, and it's a $185. So someone's going to have to come through if Seacombe want to make a charge. That someone's going to need to start hitting, and this would be a great time to do it.
And they're making a pinch runner for Earhart at the moment. It looks like, is it Pash?
The flex is coming in to run, so that would be...
Is that Moses?
Moses, yeah.
Shortstop, yes. Now, what do you do here if you're Sarah Anderson? Coach Anderson, do you go for the bunt and move them both in the scoring position for your next batter to come along? Or do you go ahead and let her swing?
I mean, if it's me, I'm letting... You're not finding a lot of hits now, so I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. I'm giving Cameron and Tompkinson. You're saying, one of you, find that base hit.
I think if you're bunting here, you're pushing at the first base. You want it to be on the right side and move those runners.
I think you just want a ball. You want a ball in play, right? We've seen both of these teams make an error already. Try to create a bit of pressure. That's where these big moments seem to happen.
Good composure there by Hannah Cameron, knowing her strike zone, pulling back on that one.
So it is a 1-0 count here with 2 runners on. Runner on first, runner on second, just 1 out. Now she ducks back down, and it's a 2-0 count.
So now as a batter, you're thinking, well, if you hit the batter before me and you've thrown a couple of balls here, and that one almost got me, you're not going to be swinging on a 2-0 count, even though it's a good hitter's pitch, but you got to be ready for it if it's there.
Oh. This one in the air, great play. There's one, Colmos turn 2. What a play by Megan Jemson. She took a look back at a bag to try to catch someone off on the tag, but 2 out now.
Hey, Hannah's squared early there, and Meg has watched her do it a couple times, and she was off, and she was in halfway down the line before the ball got to home plate, and once that ball was up, it was a guarantee that Meg was going to catch that one.
So now there is a 2-out number on the board, still 2 on. Runner on first, runner on second. This is Georgia Tompkinson. Watches a pitch just outside.
Now, I've seen Georgia come up with some big hits. When she swings the bat, she can have a good swing at it, makes good contact. If this is one of those moments and finds a gap, that's what Seacombe's looking for.
1-1 count.
Michaela's got to be thinking, I'm going after this batter. You know, low end of the order now. I'm going to make them try and hurt me. And trust the gloves behind you, right?
Recording out any way you can. Swing and a miss, so she's got 2 strikes, 2 outs on the board, but there are still 2 runners on.
Just a slight change of speed there by Michaela. Took a little bit off that, had Georgia out in front of that one.
The 1-2 coming in from Michaela Yankovic.
Change up.
Ground ball over to Bergeson off the back foot across the diamond, makes the play. So the last 2 outs recorded, the last one a 5-3, but not before. Bree Lint helps put 2 runs on the board, and we will head to the bottom of the 3rd inning, and it is a bit of a it's a bit of a race right now, an arms race. It's a 4-3 game. It's a high-scoring affair.
Hey, we got ourselves a game. That's the big thing. I got a smile on my face watching the action happen here. How about you?
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. You feel like there's a few more twists and turns, and I've got a twist and turn for you, Bill Benedictson. I've had a couple different people message me about the potential whereabouts of Sarah Harvey. Apparently, potentially a bout of food poisoning.
Ooh.
Unconfirmed.
Unexpected.
Unconfirmed. We'll have to talk to somebody in the Hills camp, but she's not been in the batting lineup, and she hits well over 300, and you'd expect her to pitch. And before the game, we were noting Mia Oates-Willis was warming up before, which usually it's just the second pitcher that's getting the warm-ups ready.
We did discuss this before the game, and as you said, her bat is too good to keep out of the lineup.
So something has to be up.
Something's up. Whether you're going to pitch her or not, or have her come in later, but to have her not bat, you're right. There must be something that's affecting her and making her not game ready.
That is bad timing. Happens. Georgia King leads things off. She goes swinging against Regan Diaz as well.
Bottom of the 3rd, 4-3, and a game.
Alyssa Charter-Smith was the main pitcher for Seacombe in the first half of the year. Obviously, she goes back to WA, I think it is, and now both teams' pitching depth is going to be tested in this game. And if you're relying on your starters, if you're a manager, you probably don't love seeing a 4-3 scoreline in the bottom of the 3rd.
Well, we did say that that Diaz is most likely going long into this game. She's going to be. They're going to put all their money on her, I would say, and it would be unlikely to change her out, and especially early. But now, what you're saying about Harvey and the Hills, we're looking at probably the same situation over there.
Now, she is on the team sheet. So it might be a matter of let's see how you're feeling.
Haven't visually seen her over there, but she could be over there on the bench. I did not see. I didn't go peeking around on the Hills bench. Got her with a high fastball.
It's a big, important inning here for Seacombe. Obviously allowed 4 runs in the 2nd inning. Now you score 3, you cut the deficit down to 1 again. If you can chuck a 0 on the board.
It is about the fight back, isn't it? After you come up with your runs or your stop, what can you do next that actually puts the pressure or magnifies the pressure on the other team,
Seacombe has built a reputation over the last few seasons as being a team that seems to pull out some ridiculous comebacks. Look no further than the last round of the minor rounds, the regular season. They were down 6-2 to West Torrens. They put up a 5-spot late to win 7-6.
Yeah, that was quite an amazing comeback. I did watch that thinking that, okay, this game is pretty much over. And then suddenly, it all happened for them.
Yeah, especially, it was a team that was locked into the 4 spot. West Torrens had already won the minor premiership. Yeah. There's always something to play for when you step between those white lines. But in terms of standing shape, really the drama was left with Sturt and Hills to determine the shape of the standings on that last game of the season. Tamke, ground ball. It's an awkward spot. Well trapped by Diaz, and great pick.
What a grab.
Oh, Becky Havis. How about that?
Oh, man. How about a highlight on this? Diaz fields, like I said, one of the best fielding pitchers, and threw a gun, but just pulled Becky up the line a little bit. And from my angle, the stretch by Havis was fantastic.
It was.
Kept that foot on and didn't pull her into the runner. That's a really dangerous play for first base. That stretch pulls you over in one step in, and you get clobbered by the runner. No fault of them as they're running to the base.
Here is Jemson, reached on an error and scored in the 2nd inning, a 4-run inning. on that error. The first run of the game scored. She was the second on a couple of wild pitches, and then 3 and 4 came through on the Abby Bastion home run.
Yep. Meg is the key out here if Seacombe wants to get out of this inning. She doesn't let a lot go by. She can hit most pitches, can hit it anywhere. So Reagan's got to pitch her carefully here.
And she just misses. Yeah, she's hanging out on the outside. Jemson, she returned after the first chunk of the season. After a hot start for Hills. Weren't sure if we were going to see her this year, but glad we did. Ended up playing 17 games, hit .273 on the year. Now pokes one into play. Scooped up in a little bobble from Mutzi. It's okay, though. It's a 4-3 putout, and we have played 3, and what a game we have had so far. We've already had 2 lead changes. Hills lead 4-3. We've had a home run. Yeah, we're settling in for what could be a good one and a long one, Bill.
Yeah, you're correct there. Hey, as you said, you saw that ball just creeped up the heel of the glove a little bit, but like I always tell my middle infield, I like those ones the best. Just scoop it right off the top of the glove. Seacombe has come back and shut them down 1-2-3 after scoring their 2 runs, and kind of keeps the momentum going their way.
Yeah, and Diaz is going to bat in this inning. It'll be Mutzi, Pash, and then it turns back over to Diaz, who has reached twice and scored twice. So she is the danger bat. Havis has reached twice. I mean, the usual suspects, twice on base for Diaz, Havis, and Lint. The 1-3-4 part of the lineup. Bottom part of the lineup right now, 6-9, is 0 for 6 for Seacombe. And for Hills, well, they help generate some runs by putting some balls in play. So Seacombe have to get that bottom half fired up.
I know we're only top of 4th here, but pivotal moment here where Seacombe has put those runs on the board, shut them down on defense, and they're in the position to put more on. And momentum is everything in this game at the moment. Whoever loses momentum and can't bounce back, it's going to be a tough game for them. And whoever can keep that rolling, well, they could be the winner of this game. Big swing on that first pitch by Sasha Muncie. Good to see an aggressive swing there, first pitch.
Muncie, then Pash here. If one of those can get on, to try to do some damage for Diaz.
One thing we'll get back to is the infield is playing fantastic here. All these hops have been really good hops. So the ground scoop
knocked towards shortstop, and Abby Bastion moves towards it. There's a quick out to start the top of the 4th.
Yep, Sasha, I think the changeup again. Michaela's off speed has got Sasha just out in front, and you find yourself out in front. You just slowing that bat down as she starts to swing, and you can see a slight hesitation with those hands, and you know that you're cooked, and you're just fighting to make contact. Now, beat Pash I used to have every now and then, used to have a running bunt and come up with a good one. If I was to do that here, I'd have her bunt it towards Charisma down at third base here, because we've seen Meg Jemson all over it at the moment, and make her make that long throw.
Swing and a miss. Throwing something under the bat path of Bianca Pash. Seacombe scored 2 in the 3rd inning. Part of a response to a 4 spot that Hills put up in the 2nd. Flared out towards
up in that sun area,
right field, and moving under it is Lara Tamke. She was in the right spot, playing very shallow, and that is job done from Michaela Yankovic in terms of having nobody on base for Regan Diaz.
Yeah, right idea, just trying to make contact with this ball and push it. Just let the bat head drop a little bit. You can see Zachley pulled out on that one quickly, and Temke calling it all the way. Best angle at that one. 2 down for Diaz. Oh, I was waiting for the jump all over that pitch.
First pitch of the game, Diaz jumped on in a similar pitch and cranked one to the wall, and it was a double. She scored. Both teams trying to trade scoreless innings. Both teams trying to settle into the game. And this should do it. Bastion underneath it. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for the second time today for Michaela Yankovic and the Hills Heat. We've reached the halfway point. It's 4-3. It's a one-swing ball game right now, and the most defining swing of the game so far has been Abby Bastion. I'm sure it's a moment we'll talk about when we have to consider who our Easton Player of the Game is. $100 gift certificate today given out to the Player of the Game. That's a big deal. You got your Carve Sunnies, eyewears, and the voucher to Arkaba, who are our broadcast partner for this and the finals. The #1 sports bar in Australia. That's Sporty. So a few prizes on offer, one for the play of the game and one for the player of the game. And certainly the play of the game has to be that home run right now.
Oh, you're reading my mind on that one. I was just about to bring that subject up, and you're all over it, Eric.
You know, she might be making a case, though, for a player of the game, too. I don't know if you can give it. Can you give it to both? If the game's got half, we got 50% of the game to go here. So,
well, I mean, if the stats and the plays pretty much dictate that's it, I guess that's possible.
Well, I'm just trying to look through right now. I'm going back here. So Bastion reached on a hit by pitch in the first. That was the only base runner. It was a walk, an error, and was Chloe Zachary, was that scored an infield single in the second inning?
I had as an E6. I haven't looked at it.
If it's officially an E6, that's the case. It means there's been one hit in this game for Hills, and it was a home run. Yeah. That was the hit. Did that get her shoulder? No, it didn't.
It's just got her head back out of the
Exactly. So if that was scored an error, I have it as an error too. So if that is the case, then the only hit that Hills have had have been a two-run homer, and they've just taken advantage of some errors in base running.
On the flip of that, you're saying Diaz is pitching a one-hitter at the moment.
Yeah, she is, but there's 4 runs on the board, and one of them was her errors. So
pitching a one-hitter, and yes, losing by a run.
Yeah. It's a cruel game, softball. A second scoreless inning in a row for Diaz would go a long way. 7, 8, 9 are due up. Chloe Zachary, Brianna Luxon, and Sky Vumard.
As you pointed out, Zachary ground ball to short last time. And Luxon flew to second base. So, yep, no hits there, but they've made some contact, all 3 of them.
Two balls, 2 strikes. That's another good leadoff at-bat here. There's been a few of them. Come back to the lengthy at-bat that Lara Tamke had that fouled a few away and walked and later set up the big inning. Same thing here as we're into pitch number 6. It's just a completely could not be more of a protective swing.
Yep.
Put the bat out and just
swung as late as possible and just directed that off to the first base dugout.
Job well done. Makes it an 8-pitch at bat, or 7-pitch at bat, I should say.
Yep, still at a full count.
Pop straight up, right back to us.
Head just behind us here in the stands, as we are in the safety of the Jill Williams Pavilion.
Again, this goes a long way into working a pitch count here for Regan Diaz. The plan would be to have her pitch all 7, but if the number starts getting up there, those little things start to add up, and an 8-pitch at-bat to lead off the bottom of the 4th. No matter the outcome is good for Zachary, and she'll take a base on balls. Leadoff runner aboard for the 3rd time today.
That pitch gets away from Diaz a bit low and in, and Zachary works the leadoff walk, and she looks a little bit frustrated in herself a bit.
It means barring a double play, Abby Bastion is going to have a turn at the plate.
It could be about the ball. I'm just looking as Steve Wallace-Yarrow is looking at the ball, and they threw another one in. Diaz may not have been happy with the ball. Maybe there's a scuff or a cut on it, something that she didn't like. Anyway, leadoff is on, and they've been running wild, so let's see what's happening here. Not going, looking to bunt, and popped it just over the catcher. Isn't it funny, your confidence in those first couple innings of just running wild, and now it's a one-run game. And again, we talked about momentum. We don't want to give momentum to the other team. If you steal and get thrown out, that kind of takes it away from your team. So the bunt game is probably the smart play.
And rides up on the inside again. Lengthy at-bats these are turning into against Diaz. And you're right. Do you put a runner in scoring position for your top of your lineup? I think you do.
I think you do too. And not try to steal. But here comes a surprise. We'll see if they go.
Runner is going. Here's the throw. And
got her!
What a throw from Abby Mossman. That was the big question going into this game. Regular starting catcher Neely Peterson not here, but no worries because Abby Mossman takes a base runner away, and that is a big-time moment.
Wow. Yep, she had a few practice throws down there that didn't go quite as well, and that one was the best one of the bunch, right when they needed it.
Neely Peterson threw out one runner this year. Abby Mossman, that's her first of the season.
On par. How about that? Well, like I just said, you've taken that leadoff walk away. You've given them an out. You've sort of taken momentum. You've given some inspiration to the fielding team. It's a tricky situation. Brie Luxon and Sky Vermouth to follow. And see, that's energized Diaz. She's come back with a little bit more oomph on that pitch there, didn't she?
Well, she can start with the top of the lineup with nobody on base in the fourth inning, or in the fifth inning. That helps too.
Full count.
Well, one of the things that was so great about the last Hills finals run back in 2021, they were loud in the dugout. They were banging on. I think they might have been the team that created that rule about no banging on the dugout. But the traditional Hills sound is back. They've now got softballs in hands, and they're using chairs and stools as drums.
Bar stools on the bench. Yep.
I like it.
Yeah, how about that?
Everything is a drum.
And look, that's a key key move there. Like I said, that you've just got thrown out, taken a bit of momentum away from yourself. So what do? You pump yourself back up. You make some noise. You show the other team.
Swing and a miss, Diaz.
We're still here, right? We're still here. We're ready to go.
Third strikeout of the day for Regan Diaz. And now there's two outs on the board and still nobody on. But you're right. And then just have that little boost of energy in there. Multi-layered, too. Different levels of drums they've used.
Yep. And here's another really big at-bat. You've got the number 9 batter, 2 out. Good chance to go 1-2-3 again.
Going change-up for the strike.
After that leadoff walk and get yourself out of a jam. But were you to not get this out or she gets on, you've got Abby Bastian, the solo hitter for the Hills on a swing and a miss. And that solo hit, of course, was a 2-run shot.
Still just the one hit allowed by Diaz in the circle.
Quickly an 0-2 count on Sky Vermouth. Just missing low and outside there.
Sky Vermouth, a 108 hitter on the year. Another one of the really young players. Popped up towards left field, but now having to move a beat back on it is Bianca Pash, and it was unconventional and aided by a big-time caught stealing initiated by Abby Mossman, the catcher. It works out to be a 1-2-3 inning. We will head to the 5th inning, and it is a 4-3 game, just 3 innings to go, and we're still separated by a swing.
Well, big swing there, and slightly fooled, as you said, by a B pass, but she did make the correction, get back on it, and made that out. Hey, momentum back to Seacombe Tigers and getting those outs, and let's see if they can now get their bats going and manufacture another run and tie it up. But we got ourselves a good game here now. Now that we're
it's intriguing, right? Bottom of the fourth, there was the 4-run inning, the 2-run homer from Abby Bastion. It was 4-1 Hills. It was kind of looking like Hills would have an opportunity to run away with it, but they scored 2 immediately. Very quickly, they generate 2 from the top of their order. That's really who's coming up to bat. The 2-3-4 hitters due up for Seacombe. They make it 4-3, but since then, 3 straight half innings of zeros on the board. That's why the score is 4-3 right now. And the pitchers are going to have to hold. There's a look at Walkerville in the outfield. The Cats will be playing tonight versus West Torrens. Walkerville, West Torrens. What a heavyweight matchup that is.
Oh, it's going to be a good one.
Took to the final out of the season to confirm Walkerville's spot in the top 2. Right before Christmas, there was a stage where they were 5th and out of the finals, and they worked their way back and are in the top 2 with the double chance. They play West Torrens, who have been wire-to-wire leaders all year, but that Cottle and Trzynski matchup.
Oh, it looks like a pitcher's duel tonight, yep.
Walkerville have allowed just 3 runs since Christmas.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That is crazy.
This one pops straight up in the air. This one back into the grandstand. Takes a funny bounce. Lindy Radigan might have been off the wrong end of that.
I have that ball in my hand right now as I pass it on to Kevin Tenenbury.
Could have asked it for an autograph.
We are safe in the Jill Williams Pavilion, but don't you find the slight irony that Jill Williams, who's on screen right now, is not? She's not under the cover. She's beside the pavilion.
Popped up down on the right side.
Technically, she's beside herself.
She's beside. Oh, yeah, you can see her right behind home. Yeah, it's funny. She's beside herself.
You didn't sell the funny on that one. That's all right.
No, it's okay. That gave the appropriate reaction.
I think you did. I think you did.
Well, a foul out. That's big because it means there's no runner on base for Becky Havis, who has been on twice today. The knock to the third base side and the walk. She's scored and she's stolen a base. Ground ball over to short again. Well picked up from Bastion, and she just guns it over. And Michaela Yankovic has worked a couple quick outs to start the 5th.
Great play by Bastion here. Ground ball stays low, but throws a cannon. Watch how she just takes a little half beat here and just says, I'm going to throw this through your glove here, Meg. And bam. That's how you throw a ball across from shortstop.
Well, if Seacombe win this game, this player will certainly be in consideration for the Carve Eyewear and Sporties Bar and Grill player of the game. Bree Lint is 2 for 2, an infield single and a rip to left field. A double that scored 2 runs that took the score from 4-1 to 4-3. She will be in the mix, you'd think. Could that double be in the mix for the Easton play of the game? $100 on offer today.
Just have to check your scoring on whether we would score that a double or a single with an error. But you're right, she did end up on 2. She is 2 for 2. You can't deny that.
Yeah, it was ripped either way and hard hit.
It was ripped.
And it did score 2, so it was a pretty big moment. So
it was.
Yeah, but you're right.
It was a big moment.
We'll have to check how it was scored. There is an off speed again from Michaela Yankovic, and now she's a strike away from a second straight 1-2-3 inning, trying to sit down her 8th in a row. It's been all about the offense in the early stages of the game, but the middle portion has been defined by the craftiness of both of the pitchers.
Back-to-back off speed there by Michaela. The 2-2 count. She can still put this ball off the plate. Set it up.
Swing and a miss. Yankovic works another 1-2-3 inning. It's her second strikeout of the day, and now the pitchers are trading shots, Bill Benedictson.
Yeah, hey, look, backed up with a 1-2-3 inning just like Reagan Diaz did before. Hey, this game is taking all kinds of twists and turns. The offense side, suddenly the error side, and now suddenly the pitchers are dialed it in and trading blows.
Well, now, if you take a look just at the scoreboard, I mean, the Hills are just 6 outs away from advancing to the preliminary final, and they have to navigate the next 5 batters are a combined 0 for 9 with a hit by pitch in the middle of that too. So that's a good place to be able to get through the first 4 in that Seacombe lineup. 0 for 4 on the 3rd time through.
That's a good point, Eric, and that is going to be a big question mark. Are any of those batters going to step up and come through, get a key hit, get a walk, do something, get on base?
They're going to have to.
You're going to have to if they want to make a charge here.
Well, how much they will even have an opportunity is going to depend on how this 5th inning goes for Regan Diaz as she goes against this dangerous top of the lineup for Hills. Bastian, .313 hitter. She's got a home run and 2 RBIs in this game. Zoe Marich has walked. She hit .326 on the season. And Charisma Bergeson, who hit 500 on the season, has yet to reach base today. Are due up. Georgia King looms behind. She hit .322 on the season. It's the 3rd time through for Diaz, and it's the most important time through. Could be the last time we see these players up to bat.
Ooh, it's a ball.
Let's see what Steve Wallaciero calls.
Yeah, if there was
and Regan, ever the sportsmanship player here for Regan Diaz. She just looks and says, yep. Steve Wallaciero didn't need to say anything. She's just shaking her head, smiling, and said, yep. Tapped her chest and said, that one was on me.
2 balls.
If you missed it earlier, a nice moment where Abby Bastian, who's up to bat now, hit a home run. And Diaz made sure she got the ball after allowing a home run in the final and had the wherewithal to get that ball to the dugout for Bastian, who we think just hit her first home run over the fence on Diamond 1.
This is definitely a key defensive spot. You're right, for the Hills and for the Tigers. Becky Havis chases that one that's just over the fence behind us. Reagan and the Tigers got to be efficient and give no extra outs here, and hopefully get these batters before Charisma comes up, because batting .500 and she's flown out twice today. It's only a matter of time before she comes through and hits one deep on you. You don't want to give her a chance to do that with the runners on base.
Well, Abby Bastian has been on base 3 times today. Right now, her home run is the play of the game. And her being on base 3 times is the most of any player in the game. I think.
Good case.
How many clean sweeps have we had this year where someone's got all 3 of the awards?
I don't know. I think we've always split it, but there's been probably some instances where that has happened.
Sometimes you just can't ignore it, there's still a bit to go.
That's correct. She's going.
And now she's got a 2nd stolen base to her name. Abby Bastian, the current game, if the game were to end now, would be the game-winning homer. She's been hit by a pitch, she's walked, she's hit a home run, and she's got 2 stolen bases.
Hey, you're right. Hey, look, this again, another great close play here, but she's in quick on that one, just ahead of the throw. Paige Moses, fairly new, fairly young there. One thing I see from that angle both times is she's catching that ball about a meter in front of the base. And you, as a middle infielder, you got to let that ball travel all the way to the base when you catch it. It's faster.
Big game Bastian, I think, is a thing.
Big game Bastian. BGB.
Her finals career here in the Adelaide competition and the Premier League is off to a pretty good start. BGB. Marich drops down a bunt. It'll drop over Bastian to third. And an important insurance run is at third base. And it's important because just a fly ball from a fly ball hitter in Charisma Bergeson, who feels due. So you got to wonder what the communication here is do you pass her up and say, you know what, we're already down. Let's go Georgia King and Tamke. Like, where do you tempt fate here?
It's a tough one here. You want to be a competitor and go up. I can't see just putting her straight on. But, yeah, you don't want to give her anything that can hurt you. And you're right, it's just a fly ball situation.
And
there
Ferguson crunches one to left field. There's the insurance run. And Charisma Bergeson wastes no time to double off the wall and expand the lead. Oh, she's been the most powerful import we've had in this competition this season. And she delivers in the biggest game of the year, too.
Hey, look, I thought it was a good pitch from Diaz, too. It was down low. She kept it low, but she was ready for it, and she hit it hard. Line shot right to the fence. You see B-Pash picking it up there and held her to 2 with a good throw to 3. Well, there you go, an extra run. And now runner in scoring position for Georgia King, also a good batter. Has flown out and struck out. But again, she's another one you don't want to tempt fate with. You pitch her something that she can hit, and she will hit it.
5-3 lead now for Hills.
I'd be interested in what the pitch count is getting to be on Diaz. I'm sure iScore might have it somewhere there, but I'll see if I can find that.
Oh, you got your subscription. Shelled out the big bucks.
Actually, I did, but
no.
just month by month, and no, I don't think I've paid up this one. Oh!
Well, I mean, Hills may be trying to send a message to a potential future finals opponent.
Let's hope that was the Walkerville fans and not the actual players, because that ball went right in the middle of them there. That was hooking foul in a hurry.
Hills got off to a rocky start in this game. First couple runners got on. They were down 1-0. There was an error in the mix. They didn't look so sharp. They settled it down, limited the damage in the top of the first, scored 4 in the second, 1 in the fifth, and that's how they lead 5-3.
Well, time called again. Mosman and Diaz not quite sure on their signals. Nothing there at the moment. Well, they look like they're set to go. Again, Georgia King with a 1-2 count.
Swing and a miss on something upstairs, and there's 2 down.
Great pitch up top there. Georgia King couldn't lay off, and that's a second out for the inning.
Yeah, 4 strikeouts on the board for Regan now. She's allowed just the 2 hits, which is still crazy, right? 2 hits, 5 runs on the board, but not helped by a couple errors.
Now, Temke's walked and grounded out, but she's also had a really, really long at-bat against Reagan. Back there when I think she grounded out to her in the end. But good batter. Fooled on that first changeup. First pitch changeup from Diaz. We haven't seen that very often. And just having a quick chat here. Reg Fairley's putting a runner in for Charisma. Get some speed, I think, is the plan.
Yeah, I can sense that maybe that 6th run is...
And it's
important.
Probably Saskia Charter. I can't read your writing on that last one. I should know it. Anyway, there'll be a run for her, and there'll be a re-entry, I imagine, just to give the extra speed. So now on a single.
Yeah, so Saskia Charter Harris.
There you go.
Is in the game. That's the confirmed change.
If you wonder why you do that, it's, like on a close play, you get that extra speed. You really make sure that run scores on a single. The other thing, too, is, maybe it's got some wheels over top of Charisma, but you don't want one of your star players hurting themselves in a key moment slide or something like that. So.
The Hills drumming, making some noise, flaring up in the dugout as well. Swing and a miss.
Big swing and a miss.
Couple strikes now on Lara Tamke. Feels like so important that Seacombe don't allow anything more. Well, one insurance run does feel huge, doesn't it? Here's the pitch. Now it's a bit awkward, too. You can see the shadow come across home plate. I mean, that's awkward as a batter, right? I mean, it's awkward as a fielder as well.
It's tough. You don't see the contact as well, but as a batter, the ball starts out in the sun and you see it, but then disappears right about that hitting zone. As a catcher, same kind of thing. Popped up behind us, right on top of the stands.
Another plucky at-bat. You think back to that table-setting at-bat in the second inning. Tamke had a 9-pitch at-bat. Reached with a walk, stole second. And because she stole second, she took advantage of the throwing error that scored the first run of the game. And set up the 2-run home run in the defining 4-run second inning. And that is how Hills are up 5-3 right now. Winner goes on. Loser, this is the last game they'll play in the 2025-26 season. Ground ball, and it's a slow roller. Over to short. Throw across the diamond, not in time, and it slips away. Runner is going to have a peek at home, and Tamke grinds one out. Bit of an awkward throw from Paige Moses at shortstop.
Wow, had it all going on there. She did battle and stay with that and put it in play. That slow roller got her shortstop just on the back foot. That's a long throw. And in the dirt, had that beat all the way. Temke on the run as she rounded, Saskia Charter-Harris. Really aggressive running, probably scores on that, but great backup by Hannah Cameron down there in right field. Keeps that ball from getting away.
The veteran Megan Jemson can
runner goes.
Add some big insurance numbers, and yeah, the runner was almost a free stolen base to scoring position here. You throw that ball, Charter-Harris takes off, and it could be a 6-3 game.
You call that an infield single, or Yep, I'm getting a nod on that one.
Third hit of the day.
And now, they're putting her on.
And now they're intentionally walking her, which makes sense.
It does make sense, as I was just about to say. Now you got the veteran, Meg Jemson up, who can really hit the ball with 2 runners in scoring position.
She's already played well today.
Coach Anderson's all over it and says, no, we're not going to let you hit.
It also just now creates the force, right? Any base is an out.
Yeah. Any base is out, 2 out. Doesn't move the runners up into any better scoring position. It just gives you an option at every base.
Now I think there is going to be a substitution. So out goes Zachary. And in comes Mia Oates-Willis for an at-bat. Any of the numbers on Oates-Willis on the season? No, she's had... there you go. She's played 15 games, hit .259 on the season. So that's a pretty good card to have on your bench, someone that hit .260 on the year.
3 RBIs on the season.
Well, RBI number 4 and potentially 5 would be the biggest ones. So the bases are loaded.
You'd have to say a hit here and scoring a couple runs is going to put this out of the reach, and it's going to be a very tough time for the Seacombe Tigers to come back from that. They need to get this out here if they want to have any shot at it. Like you said, 6 outs left for them. Bottom half of their inning, or their order coming up.
It is a must hold for Diaz. And Oates-Willis happy to work the count a little bit. It evens it up at 1. One swing breaks this one open. Can they limit the damage to 1 here in the inning, and now 2 strikes on Oates-Willis. Biggest pitch of the game coming up here for Reagan Diaz.
Give her Diaz, you keep it there. Beat her on that one, slightly up.
Swing and a miss, and a big-time strikeout with the bases juiced. And Seacombe still have a heartbeat, but they've only got 6 outs to work with as we head to the 6th inning.
Yeah, that's a clutch hold there. Like you said, they're trailing now by 2, but that's still within reach. But it's going to take something from that bottom half of the order. It's a huge pitch, same one as the one before. A little bit of a rise just on the upper. And Oates Willett swings underneath it. And it looks like a re-entry here as Coach Fairley's come out to home plate umpire Wallace Yarrow. Also looks like Sarah Anderson making some changes leading into this.
So we'll have to pay close attention here. So Charisma Bergeson coming back in the game as we expected. So it'll be Bergeson, Bastian, Zackley, and Jemson. And everybody they're all re-entries, I think, Bill Benedictson.
Yep, runner. And that bat, and then yes, there was one more that...
Yeah, Bergeson back in. So I think there's no real changes out here in terms of the lineup. Due up, it'll be Ara Munro, Hannah Cameron, and Georgia Tompkinson. Brianna Luxon in left field, Zoe Marich in center, Lara Tamke in right field, Charisma Bergeson at third, Abby Bastian at short, Chloe Zackley at second, Megan Jemson at first. Georgia King is catching, and in the circle for her 6th inning of work is Michaela Yankovic. Ara Munro, Hannah Cameron, Georgia Tompkinson due up. Sasha Mutzi and Bianca Pash would follow.
One correction on that one. I did see Coach Anderson out, and it looks like they've got Michaela Thomas in the on-deck circle. Good young juniors, played some A grade.
That's a big moment as they're looking for a spark. They are dependent, Seacombe, on some production now from the bottom of the lineup. They've got 6 outs to work with, and their batters 5 through 9 today are 0 for 9. They've reached once on a hit by pitch, and that was to this batter in Ara Munro.
And ball 3.
The leadoff runner has not been aboard since the 3rd inning. Every time a leadoff runner has been aboard today for Seacombe, they've scored. It happened in the 1st inning as well with Regan Diaz. And Munro takes all the way. It's a 3-1 count.
I would say if Earhart can get on here, they will have a runner come in for her. They've got Nalia Rigby on the bench, Lucy Weatherstone. Have we seen Ashley Thomas? Did she come in and run? I don't think so.
So Michaela Thomas is going to pinch hit.
Yep. Key moment here for both teams. Leadoff walk. Earhart works her way on, and here comes Coach Anderson.
Munro's been on twice today.
And it looks like, just checking here, they're going to have a runner for her. But
I think it's going to be Paige Moses that would come in and run.
No, she's the
DP.
Oh, correct. But if they did that, they would lose Earhart. Oh, no, hang on. Yeah, you're right.
Well, Paige Moses isn't batting.
Yeah, that's right.
Seacombe, 11 out and 43 in. 11 out, 43 in. Correct.
So I don't know if they're going to make a running change.
No, I guess not.
Which is okay because, to be honest, if you're going to score a couple of runs in this inning, it's going to be because you have multiple hits and you're moving that lead runner in. If it was a 4-3 run game, then you might take a look at playing a little bit of small ball. But because you need 2 runs, you're going to need another base hit at some point to advance that runner.
Right, that's a valid call.
But you can also understand that if you'd want to push the pace, get a run, you get 1 here and then 1 in the last to tie the game. That also changes the complexion too.
Eric, you started off saying about youth in this game and the situation and the experience. And we've got Michaela Thomas here, young player in a pressure cooker situation here. Her team trailing by 2.
Her first A-grade finals at bat as well.
Yep.
Cool moment for Michaela Thomas.
Big swing. Fouls that one straight back onto the crowd.
You love them having a crack.
Well, I think that's the thing that we really liked at Seacombe last year, and Coach Anderson would like this year, is that Michaela will swing the bat. She's made some good contact. hit a key triple in the B-grade game a week or so ago.
And a big strikeout from Michaela Yankovic. She's pitching well today. Really has settled down since giving up those 2 in the third. Hasn't allowed a hit in her last 10 batters, I should say.
Yep, she's really, really tightened up.
And now another change is coming through.
Being very stingy. With her pitches, she's been very good.
Well, I wonder if there's now going to be a new batter as well.
I'm leaning towards runner.
Yeah, Georgia Tompkinson still has the bat in her hand. Erwa Munro has now angled herself completely out. And yeah, Moses is going to come on to the base paths. And I don't mind this. That's the right timing, I think, for that move. You don't have to do it with no outs. You got to see if that ball gets put in play. But now with 1 out, it kind of changes how you manufacture this run. You want to be able to have someone that can jump on a loose ball, get into scoring position, maybe even put on a steal.
Even just a key play like a ground ball and a chance at a base to have that extra bit of speed to just beat that play out and keep that inning going. Just get to the next base and make sure you extend it. At this point now, Seacombe needs to just keep this inning going any way they can. Hit, walk,
get on base.
Home run.
Home run would go down a treat. Wouldn't that be special if Georgia Tompkinson cranked one here?
And with 1 out and now the sun in her eyes a bit more, Michaela Yankovic is tasked with keeping Seacombe from doing just that. And here comes Reg Fairley.
Now, another coach is going to make a move.
Now, this could be about the change they made.
About Seacombe.
The Seacombe.
Querying about Seacombe.
After 1 pitch, and then she's come out to query.
Yeah, because...
And it's about the DP and the flex.
And once there's been a pitch that has been made, then that's smart. You make your query then, because if you do it before, then it gives a chance to the team to correct it.
They can correct it. That's
now
right.
The play has resumed.
Yep. And so if for some reason they've made an illegal swap there, or she's come in the second time.
She has come in a second time. This is the second time on the base pass from Moses.
But it would be just Erahar would be out of the game, I think, now.
Which is okay.
Yep.
Because Erahar is not playing in the field.
Right.
And she's 8 batters away from being up to bat.
So it looks like everything's good. Looks like maybe Coach Fairley thought she had something there, or
she's just confirming that she'd be. Yeah.
Okay, could be. Yep. Georgia Tompkinson.
Now some clapping happening in the Seacombe dugout in response to the constant drumming we've heard in the Hills side of things.
Yep. My guess that clapping is being led by Reagan Diaz. I think she is one of the premier clappers of the league.
She can cheer.
She can cheer.
Ball up.
Pitch up high.
Well,
I think that's ball 2. You missed one before. I'm getting a shot. Oh, it's Becky Havis.
Also enthusiastic.
Very.
Trying to get the good vibes rolling for Seacombe.
2-1 count.
They need another base runner.
And
they're going to get a hitter's count here, Bill.
Yeah.
Well, what you don't want to do is have 2 of the next 3 reach, because it means that there'd be a run in or bases loaded and Diaz coming to the plate.
Yep.
Have to make sure it is a short inning,
Kayla
even if a run scores.
Needs to go after this batter here. And misses low. We got 2 on, 1 out. Sasha Muncie coming up.
Mutsi and then Pash. If one of these 2, in terms of Mutsi or Pash, gets on base, just one of them,
yep,
means that Diaz is going to have a chance to flip the script on this game.
And look, they're doing exactly what they need to do. They just got to keep this inning going and keep getting on, keep moving to the next base. Any ground ball play situation like that, each runner's got to slide hard to the base and make sure they beat whatever they can.
I mean, this is where you see the difference of not having Sarah Harvey available is looming large right now. Michaela Yankovic has been excellent today, navigated through 5 innings, but all year they've been doing a split between those two. It wouldn't be different for finals. Normally you see that 4 innings pitched, 3 innings pitched, 5 innings pitched, 2 innings pitched. This would be closing time. And now a hit up the middle. It'll at least load the bases, and that's exactly what they'll do. The Tigers, from the bottom of their lineup, have juiced them up for Pash and then Diaz.
How about that? Now that's solid contact. Sasha, just a short swing and gets it right up the middle. And everybody moves up a base.
And now Reg Fairley is going to come and have a chat with her pitcher.
I'd be interested on Michaela's pitch count too. Unfortunately, I did not pay my subscription. I do not know. But it'd have to be getting up there. You make a good point, talking about normally they would go Michaela and then switch to Harvey, and that's in A-grade regular season when they're playing 90 minutes. This is 7 innings now. A-grade regular season, maybe they play 5, 6 innings. Rarely we get 7. Sometimes you do if it's a pitcher's duel.
And this game started an hour and 45 minutes ago. We would have been over 20 minutes ago, and we would have said, it's a Hills win 4-3, 5-3.
Yep. Off
we go. Michaela Jankovic, unbelievable effort. And it still is an unbelievable effort. Man. But yeah, this is where not having Sarah Harvey here.
Yep. And who's got the arm to go? If Seacombe can come back here right now, a key hit now, suddenly we get a new game. Does Diaz have the steam to power home? It's a good one, man. It's a good game.
And we talked before this inning that the Seacombe bottom of the lineup was 0 for 9 at the start of this inning. Well, they've gone walk, strikeout, walk, hit. 3 of the first 4 have reached, and barring a double play or something funky happening, Regan Diaz is going to have an at-bat with the tying run in scoring position, or potentially the go-ahead run, depending what Bianca Pash does right here in this at-bat.
Yep, and that key moment you're saying, whether or not Diaz comes up, key moment to look out for here if you're a base runner is a line drive back to the infield. If you get too far off a base and it gets caught and they double you up, that takes you right out of this. So you got to be smart here when you're running on the bases. B-Pass has got to look for a very good pitch to hit or something that's not off the plate. There's something that's, a hittable strike.
Well, the Pash family has been the lifeblood of the Seacombe Tigers club and organization. It feels fitting that Bianca Pash is up to bat right now. And now she puts a ball in play, scooped up by Bastion, the force out at home, and what a heads-up play by their young superstar shortstop.
Wow. Bastion playing in, handled that ball well. Again, talking about how well the hops have been. Great hops. She hits this ball. She's just inside the baseline when she feels it and throws a strike with that cannon arm.
The decision to do that so quickly is hard.
You got to do that. It's not quick enough to turn a double play up the middle. You got to come home on that one, and that was a great play. But it does bring Diaz up with bases loaded.
Diaz has been here for 3 years, the import. She's helped bring a national championship to South Australia. She's helped turn around the Seacombe Tigers from basement dwellers to perennial finalists. This could be her final at-bat in an all-time legendary career in South Australian softball. But she might get more.
That's in the
Diaz
gap.
Delivers. 1 run is in. There could be 2. This might be 3. Diaz hustling for 3, and she gives Seacombe the lead.
A triple to clear the bases. Regan Diaz. Hey, no, my bigger hits than that right there. Talk about your final at bat and final year possibly here. That is a great way to go out with a big bomb.
Well, if the score holds, it won't be her final at-bat because Seacombe are in front 6-5.
Look at that. Just patient there. Waits on a good pitch. It was a bit of an off-speed pitch again. But right over the plate on the outside edge and bang, right into the right center gap.
2 outs, bases loaded.
Takes Marich all the way to the fence, came up throwing relay, but a great slide on this last. Scoring from first base would have been Bianca Pash on that one.
Wow. What a roller coaster here in the 6th inning. 4 different players from the bottom part of the lineup that hadn't really been doing much from Seacombe get on base, and Diaz brings the hammer. And now Hills, just moments ago, were 6 outs away from advancing to the prelim. Now they're going to have to come from behind again.
Hey, just like that, we're talking play of the game, and it might be the same player all in one again for the other team.
This is a wild game. Regan Diaz, a big-time clutch moment. Well, it doesn't get much more clutch than that.
Hey, the Seacombe Tigers,
look how focused she is at third.
Really have got that flair for that come from behind. Now, I mean, it's not a victory. They haven't got it yet, but, man, they've put it together. That bottom part of the order did exactly what they had to do to let her come to the plate, and she delivered.
Well, this insurance run could be important, too, here as Abby Mossman is up to bat.
I agree, and now, the wild pitch again. With 2 out, you can have a pretty aggressive lead there at third base, and if it gets away, Diaz is going to be off to the races.
That ball in the dirt,
block.
big-time block, saves a run.
And good head by Abby Mossman not to swing at that one. Looked very patient. Full count.
One heck of a ball game.
Mossman trying to keep this inning alive.
Flared out towards right field, easily playable for Lara Tamke, but Regan Diaz with a 2-out bases clearing triple takes Seacombe from 5-3 down and on the precipice of elimination to 6-5 up, and now they're 6 outs away from advancing to the preliminary final.
Hey, just like that, and they start with the bottom of the order, but they got to get back through that top half again. So, wow.
Well, it's can now. Hills, they got Brianna Luxon and Sky Vumard up to bat. Can one of them get on base for the top of the lineup in Bastian Marich and Bergeson will become the question, too. And you can see down the left field line there, it's Reg Fairley trying to settle her troops. And are we getting a... It's a re-entry.
It was Hannah Cameron. Then it was 43. It was Michaela batted for Hannah Cameron. So she'll be coming back in and playing right field. Yep. Now, they did pretty much everything. If I had to use a video clip of how to keep yourself in a game and come back and win when it's against you, the bottom part of the order did everything they could. They took the walk, got a key hit. Fielder's choice kept it alive, got it back to the top of the order, and your big gun comes up with a big hit.
This is one heck of a boxing match between these two teams. They've been trading punches all afternoon. It has been entertaining. Seacombe scored first. They were up 1-0. Hills scored 4 in the second. Bastian hit a 2-run homer. It was 4-1. Seacombe instantly responded with 2 runs. Big thanks to Bree Lint. How about her? She's been on base a few times today. She made it 4-3. Then pitchers in the middle innings traded some zeros on the scoreboard. Hills, they pressured a lot. They brought 7 batters to the plate in the 5th inning, and they only scored 1 run. And how big does that look right now for Hills to limit the damage to just 1? That made it 5-3 before Seacombe scored another 3. So 3 lead changes in the game, and both teams have had a response when the other team has asked a question, and now it is Hills under the pump a little bit here.
And I guess we'll get to see if Diaz has got the gas in her arm to go the distance here. How is she going to finish? Gets the 8-9 batter to start, and then she's back to the top of the order for the Hills.
Yeah, it's will Bastian have a base runner?
As the drums start again in the third base dugout.
This has been a game played with great spirit and sportsmanship. It's an intense one when you're in it and a bit unbelievable when it ends. Someone is going to be heartbroken at the end of this game. would be a moment for both of these teams in the late stages of the game where they would have had dreams and thoughts of the next round already, and one of these teams is having it ripped away. Still 9 outs to play with, 6 here for Hills. And if they can score a couple runs in this inning, don't forget, then they'd just be 3 outs away.
Yep. Actually, that's one of the key times to come back and put pressure on. If you can come back and do it just before they go to the top of 7 and take the lead, it instantly puts the pressure on the other team, right? When they come out to face.
Big-time strikeout from Reagan Diaz. And that is her 6th of the day. And a big-time leadoff put down. Now Sky Vimard comes to the plate. Can she get on base for Abby Bastian?
The shadow's getting farther up towards
hard
the
to
pitcher.
play in.
Yep.
Some classic-looking twilight feel to it in what has turned into an instant classic here. I have a feeling these teams may meet again in future years in the finals. Both teams so young. Obviously, the Tigers have all of their junior teams in a grand final played next week, which is amazing that every single Seacombe junior team has a ticket to the big dance.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is really, that probably not since like Sturt was doing it year after year way back, have a team done that.
Hills, meanwhile, have a team you can almost field in the under-23 national championships. They are young, they are fun, and they are ahead of schedule in terms of their development in the Premier League, and I think now they've arrived. Ahead of time, it doesn't matter. They're here now. 0-2 count, though. Can they send this to the 7th and final inning with a 1-run lead for the Seacombe Tigers? The ball slips away. It doesn't matter too much. It's a 1-2 count.
1-2. Test her up high. Test the limits there, what she's going to chase.
Don't forget, coming up after this at 7:30 local time. It's 5:30 local time right now, so don't forget, in about 2 hours' time, it'll be Walkerville and West Torrance in the qualification final. Winner of that goes straight to the championship game. Loser will meet the winner of this game.
And interesting enough, that'll be one Benedictson leaving the broadcast, another one
on the field.
Joining on the field. And good luck to them.
What a game this has been. Vimard puts it in play. It could be a tricky one. Picked up by Moses. She's safe. Sky Vimard hustles out an infield single, and the tying run is aboard.
Wow, great at bat. 0-2. Battles back, gets contact. Ground ball to short again, just hanging a little bit back on this ball. Makes a good throw, but Sky Vimard is wheeling. Wow, that's a close play. That is really close. That could have gone either way.
Well, it changes the complexion of this at-bat for Abby Bastian, who has reached 3 times today. She's already hit a home run as well.
Now you got a leadoff batter here who can play small ball. You can bunt. You've got a runner with speed. Do you send her?
And you've got Zoe Marich after.
Yeah.
If you're Seacombe, you just can't let this get to Charisma Bergeson.
No.
Cannot let that happen.
And if we see a bunt from Bastian, it'll be running. But there's
Up
a ground
the middle.
ball.
Can they get 2? There's 1. Can they turn 2? They won't. I think Paige Moses was just a little bit far away from the bag, but it was a hard hit ball at the middle. Well played by Diaz, and now there's 2 down.
And now Diaz, the best fielding pitcher in the league, comes up with the ball and is turned ready to throw right away. You're right. Paige Moses just a little behind getting there, but made sure they got the lead runner, got the out. What that does do is leave Abby Bastian, who's stolen 2 bases today, at first base with 2 out.
Well, we said it in the top of the inning. Don't let it get to Regan Diaz because it would mean that there'd be bases loaded or runs in. Here's the throw, and she's safe. Runner in scoring position. We said don't let it get to Diaz, and then Diaz delivered. And now it's the same thing here. Don't let it get to Charisma Bergeson. Zoe Marich gets on base here. Bergeson's going to have a chance to potentially provide a game-winning moment.
Probably got the best batter for the Hills at the moment. A lefty with speed, can hit short, has hit long. Anything to beat out and get to the base if there's a ground ball. You've also got one of your best runners on the base. Aggressive lead by Bastian there. And she is the tying run. You know, any bobble in here, something like that, pitching dirt, Bastian's off to 3. But you got to be careful. You only get thrown out trying to get an extra base.
Cracked up the middle. Bastian getting the hard turnaround 3. Here's the play at the plate. Abby Bastian slides in safe, and we're all tied up again. Zoe Marich, the kid comes through. And we're back where we started.
That's a fantastic hit by Zoe Marich. And Georgia Tompkins up close, like has a shot. And the ball gets cut off coming home. I just don't think it had the steam on it. I thought they were going to have a serious play at the plate on that when it got there so quick, but Bastian's quick. Tie game.
Now Charisma Bergeson has the potential go-ahead run on base. Will they send Marich to try to put her in scoring position? Bergeson doubled in a run the last time she was up to bat. At the time, it made it 5-3.
I tell you, if Marich steals second, Charisma doesn't get a pitch to hit. So you got to think about that. You might be taking the bat out of your best hitter's hands if you steal second here. So what looks like an enticing thing to do and get your runner in scoring position might not be the best play. And at the moment, so we stand put.
And that pass just could be issued. That ball slips away. There's going to be a runner at second regardless. And now we'll see how they approach the rest of this at-bat with the dangerous 500 hitting Charisma Bergeson. Bergeson came from Boise State via San Jose State before that, where she set a school record for 3 home runs in a game. Played then NCAA Division I softball. Now is traveling around the world playing this great game. Here's the 2-1 count to Bergeson. Bergeson lofts under it. It is in the air in foul territory, and it can't make the play. Bianca Pash overruns it, and instead of the third out on the board, it goes down as strike 2, and the most dangerous hitter in the competition is going to have a chance again.
She gets another chance. You got her to chase a pitch up high. She went after it, hit a mile-high fly ball, foul territory. And you're right. Bianca Pash just overran it, did well to get there. And she gets another crack at it. Will it matter? Will it be key?
Bergeson chases one up high again. Here's Becky Havis. Makes the play. Oh, it squirted out of the glove. But she might be one of the better defensive first basewomen in this competition. But Zoe Marich, a clutch 2-out RBI single, ties the game. Abby Bastian has now scored 3 times in this game, by the way. And we are knotted at 6, Bill, going to the 7th and final inning.
So I can't keep up with all the possibilities of player or play of the game here, Eric. I'm just making notes all over my page and my lineup. Whew. How about that? 6-6. Well, it's got everything you wanted. All we need is a winner now.
What a game this has been. And now, again, the depth really being tested. No Sarah Harvey is just so huge right now, not having that high-leverage relief arm.
Well, at 5'3", if they'd gone to Sarah Harvey at that point, you would think that was going to be very tough to battle back from. And the fact that Michaela's had to go on and do well, but Seacombe last inning mounted that great comeback, only to be matched and drawn level by the Hills last inning.
Well, here we go. The 3-4-5 in the lineup for the Seacombe Tigers, who just scored 3 runs in the 6th inning to take the lead, but it's going to take another lead change to find a winner here. If we're still tied after 7, hey, we'll play another.
Hey, extra innings, why not? It could have it all.
These teams going at it in this game. They've left it all between the white lines and maybe beyond.
I think the advantage really switches to the hitter right now. Even though there's that shadow, the fielding team now has just a little bit more difficult sun in the eyes. Not quite the point where they would delay, but any of those hits, they're just up over the peak of your of the brim of your hat, your visor. They take you up into looking into the sun. And if you're Abby Bastion, who plays without a visor, you can see she's got her hand up to shield the sun there.
Crack towards right field. Does it drop? No. Well tracked from Lara Tamke. And a dangerous batter who's been on base twice today, and Becky Havis is out. Well, Brianne Lint steps up to the plate. She's got 2 hits today. She's driven in a couple runs, and she'd be in the mix for the Easton play of the game. Well, maybe not play of the game anymore. There's been a couple big hits. Maybe Zoe Marich tying the game. And certainly the player of the game with 2 hits so far. She could be in the mix for. She gets a hits here, and they go on to win. Maybe it'd be the Diaz play of the game. And
Diaz with the triple to clear the bases, take the lead.
To be honest, whoever scores that winning run likely going to be a front runner for the play of the game. I don't know how much more significant you can get than the winning run.
That's correct. That's correct. And that's what it does come down to in the end, doesn't it? You know?
But Lint in the mix for the player of the game. She's being clutch today. Seacombe are not here right now without her. An American who's moved over to South Australia, now lives here, has been here for, 4 or 5 years. Good mentor amongst some of the younger players on this team. Has been with Seacombe through the trenches as well.
And a player that you can put, in a lot of places. She was a catcher that first year here in Seacombe. Played third base and some catching. We've had her at second base. She's been playing outfield. You keep saying, I need someone here. And Bree says, well, I can play there. And, does everything she can for the team. A one-out walk.
And now she could be the winning run, as she is on base for the 3rd time today. Moses will step up to the plate. She is effectively replaced in the lineup. Arla Munro, she's come in a couple times now. This would have been that query that Reg Fairley would have had that said, hey, that was the 2nd time you used her. You got to keep her in, and that's exactly what's happened.
Correct.
Hannah Cameron would come back, and now they're trying to bunt her over.
Yeah, we see that replay and a high view, but Meg Jemson is on her horse as soon as they square to bunt. Might be an opportunity if Moses can pull up, is to show bunt and pull back and slap one, because she's really in on top of the batter here. Hopefully Paige can bunt towards the pitcher or third base, but you watch Meg Jemson. If she squares, look, she's already halfway home now. She's already halfway in. Oh.
Well, they were thinking about checking that runner back. I think it's an 0-2 count now. Yeah. Big moment. It was the bottom of the lineup that got the party started, helping score 3 runs in the 6th, and now they're going to have to do it again. This popped up. Bergeson calls everybody off. 2 down.
Hey, a pretty good swing by the youngster there. She had a hack, 2 strikes. Just underneath. But good composure here.
Cameron back in for an at-bat. Thomas pitch hit for her in the 6th. Hannah Cameron 0 for 2 on the day. She's back in on the re-entry. How aggressive are you with the runner at first? Don't want to be thrown out as that 3rd out, but at the same time, this might be the last at-bat you have in the game.
If Seacombe can't score here, they at least want to move through this lineup a little bit to get them in a good position if they do go in extra innings, that they've got their big bats coming up.
Got to think about that too. You're absolutely right. That's why you're the championship coach, and I'm just sitting here.
Hey, saying
with me, though.
Saying it's one thing, but doing it's another. But, hey, great to be here with you, Eric, always. Always, and especially to have a game like this to call.
This has been an exciting one. The game of the season. No doubt about that. You can't really deny that with all the stakes that are involved here, too. Although, of course, there's a few more finals games to come. But this one is going to be hard to beat in terms of sort of the drama of the game.
Of course, you said Walkerville and West Torrens go later tonight. The loser will play the winner of this on Wednesday night. I imagine Spacequake Sports is there for that one. I think we have all the finals action in the 10th year of Spacequake Sports.
Crack to left field. Cameron, it's on a line.
Wow.
To Brianna Luxon. And Michaela Yankovic and the Hills Heat do their job. They send it to the bottom of the 7th, where they'll have a chance to walk themselves off and through to a preliminary final.
Hey, great at bat here by Hannah Cameron. 0-2, stays alive, fouling the ball off, and just makes contact. And that was a pretty solid hit, but straight down the throat there.
Well, there's been a lot that's happened in this game, Bill, so we can't run through everything, but we can give you a few key moments. Let's go back. It was 1-0 in favor of Seacombe in the second inning, and a couple runs on the board. Hills generated off some errors and walks. They were leading 2-1. Abby Bastion hit a 2-run home run, made it 4-3. Instant response from Seacombe, though, in the third when Bree Lint had a 2 RBI base hit, cut the lead to 4-3. Things then kind of settled down in the middle innings, got crazy late. In the 5th inning, you got to remember, it was 4-3. Hills were up to bat. They brought 7 players to the plate. They only scored 1 run. Abby Bastion scored, made it 5-3. And then with bases loaded, 2 outs, 6th inning, season on the line, Reagan Diaz cracked a bases-clearing triple to take Seacombe from 5-3 down and put them up 6-5 and 6 outs away, but not to be undone. 2 outs, 1 runner on, bottom of the 6th, the youngster, the under-18 player, Zoe Marich, ends up tying the game at 6, and now we're in the 7th, where a first-pitch swing from Georgia King puts 1 out on the board.
Well, that's a good recap, and that is a lot to digest there.
Same pitchers as we started as well. Yankovic has gone 7. She's going to have to go potentially 8. Diaz has gone 6 1/3. Well, she's going to want to go a little bit more. Are you getting a pinch hitter?
Yes. Now, I'm not sure who we got here. 4 Laura Tempe? No, this is Laura.
Well,
Laura
Tempe. Still Tempe.
Yep. You wouldn't take Laura
No,
Tempe.
She's had 2 great at-bats. You think back to a
single last time up,
infield single, but the 4-run inning in the second inning, she had that 9-pitch at-bat. She's gone deep in counts. Every time she's been to the plate on a really impressive day, 1 for 2 with a walk and a run. She's been big time.
If she gets on, you got Meg Jemson coming up next, and again, she is a hitter.
Tamke goes chasing upstairs.
Diaz got to chase that one up.
What is crazy right now, the way this is shaping up, let's just say Tamke and Jemson go down in order. Both teams would have extra innings with their 7, 8, 9 batter up to plate. And don't forget, there is an international rules tiebreaker in effect. So you'd have a runner on second base, but you'd have your bottom of the lineup for both of these teams trying to get it done. Yeah.
And in some cases, that might work out. They might be the bottom of the order that you do have bunt a bit. You don't have the big hitters down there. You have somebody that maybe makes contact. Who's it going to favor? The Hills, they've all played the small game and do it well. So, the edge might go their way in moving that runner over. Then again, you've got Hannah Cameron's going to be running for the Tigers. And you've got, I got a soccer ball. Came in. How did that come in here? Should I be like the mean old man, say I'm keeping that one?
Yeah, why not?
Sorry, folks, we just had a soccer ball. It's a mild interruption.
Well, 1 out away from getting bonus softball.
Wrong sport, wrong season at the moment. You'd have Georgia Tompkinson would be the one to come up and bunt, and she's possible to do it. And Sasha Mutzi has had a hit down there in the bottom of the order. Can they get it done? First of all, they got to get the outs here.
Popped up into foul territory, and it will be unplayable. So there's a couple outs on the board. Bit of drama in this one.
Meg Jemson doing everything she can here to just keep this inning alive again, get ball in play, take the walk, whatever it may be.
Might say this is very on brand, by the way, Bill, for Hills the last little bit. Entering the finals in their last 6 games, they had won just 1 game, but they had lost 2 of those games of their 5 non-wins. I'm saying non-wins for a reason. By 1 run, and they tied 2 others. Jemson, though, pokes one to the outfield, and the winning run is aboard. Well,
they keep it going. That's a classic at bat from Meg there. You know, like I said, 2 strikes, but look, she's shortened up. She knows she just has to make contact and drops it right in the gap there between left and center. Knows to stop, not push for 2. No chance in getting thrown out.
Ash Peterson is aboard now as the substitute.
So they brought some wheels in there.
Hey, this is the one to send you to the preliminary final.
Yep.
We might have
Chloe Zackley batting now. And, you know, Zackley is fast, can bunt, can running bunt, and that might be a key.
I mean, this again, Sarah Harvey would be handy here, wouldn't she?
Yeah.
Even if I don't think I've seen her in the dugout. She's sick. Heart feels for her for sure. I know there'd be no place you'd rather be than playing for your teammates. Hoping that she can get in the lineup on Wednesday if Hills can get to Wednesday. They're 3 bases away from Wednesday. They're 1 out away from extra innings.
Diaz and the Tigers got something to say about that, as 2 pitches, 2 strikes right after Zackley. But a good swing. Again, the fielding team, you got to settle yourself down now. Just make the out. And if you're the Hills, run those bases hard. But don't get picked off. She's straying a little bit far up for first base there. I think that might have been a Neely Peterson moment, you know?
Keep the line moving. 1 strike away from an 8th inning. Cracked to left field. Does it drop in? No. Right to the glove of Bianca Pash. And after 7 innings, we've settled nothing. A back and forth ball game. One of the better finals ones in recent memories. And we're going to go to an 8th, tied at 6.
Hey, in a game that is tied, that, like you said, has come down to the 7, 8, 9 to get it done.
That's how games are won.
To have the last batter in both of those half innings hit that hard ball, but right to left field and down the throat like that. Wow, this game, you know, it's going to be who blinks first now.
Well, there will be a runner in scoring position to start this inning, too.
Hannah Cameron will be running from 2. Georgia Tompkinson, followed by Sasha Mutzi, and Bianca Pash, who caught that 3rd out, are the scheduled batters.
So just re-entries.
And that would be
means that Jemson can stay at first, yeah.
Sorry. And looking over there in the Seacombe as they come out with the helmet on, have they put another runner in? They have another runner. I think they've gone with Ashley Thomas is going to come in and run for Hannah Cameron, which means Hannah Cameron will be out of the game now for good. Defensively,
right field.
She would play right field.
And due up Tompkinson, Mutzi, and Pash. What do you do here? As a coach, what are you thinking as the team that's batting first?
As you're batting first, you want to get this bunt down. You want to make sure, first of all...
So you're bunting? That's what you're doing?
Yeah, okay. You're bunting, yeah. Especially at this part of the order. It could change if you were at the top of the order. If it was Diaz up, you might do something different.
So, but why bunt? Walk me through why bunt when there's a runner at second, obviously no outs.
You want to get that runner over to 3, so now a sac fly, a ground ball, if it's hit to the right side, a wild pitch, all score runs with 1 out. You know, so you use your 1 out to get that runner 60 feet closer, and that basically there's more options to score.
And what's the target this inning to put up a number? I mean, obviously, no matter what happens, the Heat are going to have a chance to respond.
Look, obviously, one for sure. You know, if Hills come out of this and they don't let him score, that's right. If they don't let him score, or they pull a tricky double play, you know, you hit a line drive and she gets too far off and you step on the base, that totally deflates the other team. So you want to do what you need to do.
Get the one.
To get the one. If that goes well and more happens, bonus.
Get for one, push for two.
Yep.
Hope to pile.
Yep. And that puts the pressure on the home team. At least then the home team comes up, know what they have to chase if it's only one.
Well, the last time 7, 8, 9 were up for Seacombe, they all reached and they all scored. Thanks to a bases clearing triple from Regan Diaz in the 6th inning.
And there just goes to show a totally different ideology. Had Georgia Tompkinson swinging away at that one. Good swing. Maybe now with Michaela Yankovic being a little bit tired and more hittable in their minds, you have your swing.
Oh, Michaela Yankovic, a big-time strikeout. And now there's one out and a runner in scoring position.
If we look at the other side of that, Eric, if we go that way and we swing away, remember, Ashley Thomas still in scoring position now, so a hit still scores her if it's a good hit into the gap. And Sasha Muncy did come up with that hit last time up.
Base hit up the middle. Helped load him up in the 6th. And now she'll knock one down the line, and it almost was snagged by Bergeson.
Now that the Tigers, geez, that replay, you cannot even see the batter from my angle here. It must be tough for the people at home. That's the kind of shadows we're dealing with. You're locked into swinging away now. Playing the bunt game now doesn't do you any good.
4 pitches, 4 strikes. Make it 5.
That's on our head.
Well, Michaela Yankovic here in the 8th inning of work. Some bonus softball for her has just come out and pounded the zone. Ground ball. Scooped up by Bergeson on the run. Safe.
Off the base.
Off the base. And 2 runners are aboard. And Diaz likely is going to get a crack here. And Reg Fairley coming out for a chat.
Now, the reason she's coming out to have a look is it did pull her off the base, and as she caught it, it was very close to tagging Sasha right in the head as she was there.
Oh, I think she did tag her.
And
yeah, she did tag her.
That does look like that. Now it's going to be to whether the umpires are going to have that conversation or not.
I don't know if you can go slow on that replay or not, but that looked like, here we go. Here's a look.
She has convinced Jason Irwin to have a conversation. And if
here we go. Here's a look at it.
Either of the 2 umpires see it any differently.
It looks like it's hard to see without the slow-mo, and it's obviously hard in fast time, and we get the second look at it. It kind of looks like she got her in the noggin.
The only other thing about that is that glove the ball in control in the glove because of that contact? If there's a bobble in the juggle there and then not making contact, then that would still be safe. That's the only way, and they're going to talk to Seacombe. So it looks like they've overturned that.
That is never a good sign if 3 of them umpires are walking over to the team. Oh, dear. This is nervy moments, potentially game-defining decisions that they have to make. This is a tough crew, great umpiring crew all year. And that's a tough one. It was tough for us to see on 3 replays.
Oh, definitely.
The right thing to do is chat.
And that's right. They've done the right thing, whether or not this is overturned or not, and called out.
Wow.
So it's a 5-3 put out for the second out. The runner does go to 3. Wild pitch still scores.
It's a big decision, but now 2 outs on the board, and the 9-hitter up to bat. 1 out away. You're a 9-hitter out away from getting to the bottom of the inning with a chance to win it, but you're a base runner away from falling behind and having Diaz up to bat. Hills are dancing on an edge right now.
Starts her off with that first pitch strike, puts the pressure right on Pash. Again, contact here by Seacombe. They've got to get this ball in play.
I mean, Michaela Yankovic has thrown 8 pitches in this inning. All of them have been strikes. She's got the ground out and the strikeout, but 8 pitches, 8 strikes in the 8th inning. This is gutsy stuff from someone who probably wasn't expecting to having to throw the whole game, let alone whole game +1.
And the right mentality, going after the bottom half of the order. You got to go after them. Let them try and hurt you with their bats. Like you said, the stats don't lie. I mean, yes, they can come up with a key hit, but you've made them try and win the game.
Let them win it. 1-2.
Stays alive. Tip of the bat, foul tip.
Yanka Pash gets another crack.
Hey, the changeup's been Michaela's best pitch, and B. Pash just did everything she could to get a piece of that ball just to stay alive.
Again, the same thing.
Now, I got to say, she's coming back with the changeup here. She had to go with one a little bit high, got to foul it back. Watch for her to throw that off speeder again. Hey, if she throws that off speeder and she swings a miss and it gets away, that runner could score. So many options here. So many possibilities.
Well, she went down low and missed, and now the count's even up at 2. Just getting on base makes a difference to give the bat to Diaz. Diaz in the on-deck circle, willing an extra at-bat for herself. Swing and a miss! Led by Michaela Yankovic, it is a hold for Hills, and they'll have a chance to send themselves to the preliminary final in the bottom of the 8th.
Wow. I don't know about the viewers at home, but I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the anxiety here, the nerves, the excitement of this game.
Well,
it's been a good one.
Chloe Zachary will start at second. It'll be Brianna Luxon and Sky Vumard to lead things off here. You can't say that Abby Bastian is due up because she mathematically isn't, right? I mean, there could be an out, there could be a runner caught, there could be a double play. In all likelihood, Abby Bastian's going to get a crack at sealing the fate of winning all of the awards today. She's going to get a crack statistically. However, you can't say she's due up because she isn't. The only 2 due up in these situations are Luxon and Vumard and likely Bastian.
Good way to put it.
You know, a double play, something crazy can happen. A play at the plate, strike him out, throw him out. I don't know. A few different ways it can happen, Bill.
Well, again, in these situations, if you go to bunt and you don't get it and you pop it up, then the chance of a double play caught throwback, as we saw last year, Beck Havis, how many times? Twice in one game in that grand final, diving, throwing back to one to get that double play on a bunting situation.
Yeah, or a walk and a triple play. The only thing is, though, with an open base, you could be in the situation where you walk Bastian. Because, honestly, the second run has no consequence in this game at all.
Correct.
The only thing that matters is protecting Chloe Zachary as the winning run at second.
But you walk Bastian, you get to Zoe Merritt, who came up with the clutch hit last time.
Yeah, it's the danger part of the order coming up. Here's Brianna Luxon. 0 for 3 on the day. This would be one heck of a time to deliver a hit. Base hit can win it. The game would just end.
Visibility. I think she's going for glasses here, maybe sunnies.
Means those carved, she's pointing to her maybe it's her carved eyewear.
Maybe.
In the middle of an at-bat, just icing young Luxon a little bit more.
The thing to mention here now, Chloe Zachary, fast runner at second base for the Hills. Reagan Diaz, one of the best fielding pitchers, and not above possibility that if she fields a bunt, that she looks to 3. Visibility at 3. The sun is not in Brie Lynn's eyes. So there's a possibility, but it would be probably most likely Paige Moses covering at the bag if Brie Lynn comes in, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on the young player there playing short.
Carve Sonny's now on Diaz. Bunt laid down, well scooped, and the runner freezes at 2. Here's the play at third. It slips away. It's a chance to win the game. They'll hold off. Chloe Zachary living on an edge. She hesitated at first, but she still gets to 3 and job done from Luxon.
Wow. Great bunt there, first of all, and Brie Lynn to go to her knees, come up, make a good throw, and a good throw cross gets her. For some reason, Zachary doesn't go right away. We watch the replay, we get a chance to get through it. But she doesn't run right away because maybe she's thinking that the play at 3, and they have a legitimate shot.
Now Sky Bumar drops one to right field. That goes foul. And that's a big one, Bill. If it's a fly ball in foul territory, you cannot catch, well, it depends how deep it is. If it's a deep fly ball in foul territory, you cannot catch that ball because a runner could tag and the game would be over. But Bumard played such a key role in the 6th inning. Her infield single helped get a base runner on in a crucial inning to tie the game at 6.
Zachary's going all the way on that one if it gets caught, too. So now if you're that fielder coming in, if you're moving in...
That ball slips away. Racing for home is Zachary, and the Hills are going to the preliminary final. Well, the team that was told they're ahead of schedule have just booked themselves a date deeper in the finals.
Oh, that's an unfortunate way to win it, but well done to the Hills. They battled right through to the end. Had to do the same with their bottom part of their order.
Well, Bill, I think for player of the game, for me, still Abby Bastian. Scored 3 times, was on 4 times, had the home run.
2, 3
play of the game, I might go with the Zoe Marich tying double to force extra innings.
It is the big game play. You know, up to that point, it was Reagan Diaz, but Zoe Marich coming up, and that was with 2 out.
Well, Bill, I'll let you chat quietly to yourself here, wrap up the game. I'm going to go out there and get ready for an interview for you in a second.
All right. I'll give you all the gear you need to take out with you, Eric. And we might just listen again and suck it up and watch the replay. Unfortunately, ball gets away and no chance to make a throw back to the plate. As the crowd shows really great appreciation for a good game. Both teams played so well. As Eric said, one team jubilant. They will be moving on to the prelim final on Wednesday night. The other team, you can only say heartbroken that their season has come to an end this year. Now, we will be working hard to get this crossover to Eric. We are working with an engineer from Interstate, so just wait till Eric's ready. Yeah. And Eric, get you to test your mic. And we'll just make sure he's waiting for the camera on screen here. One moment.
All right, so we're going to have
his mic will work here. We're just waiting for that camera behind to zoom out and zoom in on Eric. Well, this will be probably my last game for this season, which has been a great year. I've enjoyed doing my games on Spacequake, and thank you for listening. Congratulations to the Hills Heat. And we're just waiting for a camera on Eric as we're going to handheld. And we're over to you, and bye from me.
All right, we are on.
And so we're just having a little bit of a problem switching to the camera to get Eric and the girls.
Test.
Yeah, I got you. And we've got, looks like Zoe Merrick and Abby Bastian.
All right, I finally figured it out, but the two players I'm down with seem to have it figured out the whole game long. From Hills going to a preliminary final. Let's start with our player of the game winning the Arkaba food voucher and the Carve eyewear for the Carve player of the game. Abby Bashan, you were on, 4 times today, hit a home run. We'll get to some questions about that too, but we'll let you put on the sunnies while I put them on. Yeah, we got to have them. We got to tee up for it. And Zoe Marich, I mean, that clutch 2-out RBI single to tie the game at 6 is our Easton play of the game. This one's for I think it's $100 this time for the finals for your voucher there. So unbelievable game. Let's start with you, Zoe. 6 inning. Obviously, you don't come through with that hit. We're not even in extra innings to walk you through there. What do you think in those kind of moments when you're in a game like this?
To be honest, I was trying not to think, just trying to keep it simple. Dugout was bringing the energy, which was really nice. Yeah, it was good.
So the first finals here for Hills Heat in the new era, I guess, of these generation of players. What was that game like to play in? Can you describe that game to the viewer that hasn't watched, maybe in a few words?
I think that was a very competitive game. There was lots going on all the time. I think I was on edge the whole time. Everyone from our team and everyone from their team has so much potential, so it was like you have to be switched on the whole time, which was really cool.
How many times on Diamond 1 here have you cranked one over the outfield wall?
0.
All right, walk me through that at bat, because that was nuked.
I don't really remember it. I didn't actually know it had gone over. But yeah, I was just a bit shocked. I was just going there and try and make some contact and see what happens.
Zoe, I think one of the words that a few people have used this year about Hills is that you're ahead of schedule, right? You're a young team trying to build. Maybe finals wasn't the plan, but now you've got a date in the preliminary final. So are you ahead of schedule, or are you right where you need to be?
I think we are doing very well for ourselves. Yeah, I think, the vibes are there. We're all doing very well.
And what is it, was there a culture shift this year, or was the culture kind of there before?
I think we definitely always had the culture. I think we've definitely done lots of work over in pre-season and building up. I think we just need a little bit more belief in ourselves, and I think we have that now. So I think we're doing really well.
We'll let you two go and celebrate and debrief with your teammates, but how does it sound if you guys came back here Wednesday night to play another game of softball in the season?
I'm excited.
That'll work? That'll play?
That'll work, yeah.
Thank you very much. Congratulations to our players of the game. Hills, they're through to a preliminary final. You can catch it here on Wednesday night. Nice work. Let's go. Congratulations. That was sick. That was a heck of a ball game.
Yeah, that was great. That's what you want.
It was back and forth, wasn't it? That was insane. That was one of the better ones. No, but Seacombe just were missing a bat.
Yeah.
Kind of be missing a bat all year.
Well, you have a look, the top half of the lineup got bats.
The big game changer for Hills is hopefully you have Sarah Harvey back to run relay. Yeah, that was a crazy game at Hills. Nice work.
Thank you. That was great.
I got to run off.
Yeah, go for it.
It was a long game.
I know. It was so long. Well, at least we're going again.
Thank you, scorers.
Thanks, Eric.